Country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
So just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop.
The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave.
Come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians.
Governments don't live together, people live together. Governments, you don't always get a fair word or a fair fight. Well, I've come here to give you either one, or get either one from you.
That is totally taken out of context.
Well, not really.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up,
T-minus 1 minute.
live out the true meaning of its creed.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
T-minus 50 seconds.
I am paying for this microphone, Mr.
Every dollar released from taxation
T-minus 40 seconds.
that is spent or invested will help create a new job.
Chivalry is dead, and women killed it.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines.
T-minus 20 seconds.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing ground and in the streets.
10, 9,
We shall fight
8,
in the hills.
6,
We shall never surrender!
3, 2, 1, 0.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Actually, Carden, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, we're live.
Woo! Sorry about that, bro. Anyway, welcome to the Problem Solver Politics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to be here. New Hampshire is underway. And we're all decked out. We got our Resist Socialism shirt. And
again, royal we, I guess, over here from
yeah.
Card. As you can see, I'm wearing my one.
Woo!
I'm wearing one of the 5 T-shirts I wear realistically. So,
dude, I'm double hatting it for this one, brother, because Andrew Yang, he's got to come out strong. You know what I'm saying? He's got to come out strong. We're hoping for top 3. You know what I'm saying? But even if he had a solid 4th place showing with double digits, I'd be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, hey, so far, remember Michael Bloomberg's already won a county. So,
dude, yeah. Hey, actually start out and tell us that. It's actually a really funny story.
Okay, well, I have to pull it up. I don't have to pull it up. But anyway, there was one vote done. I think maybe multiple votes were done at midnight, actually. Midnight, which would have been...
Yeah, New Hampshire literally
4 hours
opens
ago?
up.
Or not 4 hours ago. Oh,
they open up at
16
midnight.
Hours?
How cool is that, dude? And there's like people that are there like camping out, dude, to be the first ones to vote. It's actually kind of funny. You dog-faced pony soldier.
Sorry, I found it. Here we go. So here is the tweet in question, which was showing the live results from this, I guess, yeah, you call it a primary. I mean, like, I think it was 5 people voted. That's why I'm struggling to really call this anything, but here we go. In Dixville Notch, you will see not only was Michael Bloomberg so amazing, he won as a Democrat, he actually won as a Republican. He beat Trump in this county. Michael Bloomberg is the bipartisan god, I guess, pulling in the write-in votes. But this did happen earlier, like I said, probably about, 16 hours ago now. So that's pretty funny that happened. I don't understand how it happened. I don't know. I guess shout out to the guy who wrote in Bloomberg as a Republican. Maybe he was like, oh, Michael Bloomberg, the mayor, he's a Republican, right? He just wrote him in. I have no idea, but very cool. Very cool.
Dude, so I'm typing this to Sly Cactus. He said, you know what I'm saying, Cardin 2024? And I'm saying, Sly Cactus, epic comment, epic name, epic graphic next to your username. You are just epic. And pressing send. No. Because I think that was pretty awesome.
Hold on.
It showed this little cactus running.
Is that how you describe it's actually from, yeah, that's from, oh my God, it's from an RPG. I don't remember if is that Shin Megami? Oh my God, I'm not going to pronounce words again. It's either SMT or I think it's males. Anyway, the Avatar, right? That's
dude, I'm getting totally trashed in the chat here. Emperor Xander says Joe Biden, the only person whose slang is more outdated than Cardin. Well, I mean, I thought he said slag. Slag is actually from welding.
You are literally using Joe Biden.
I don't say no malarkey. I say no shenanigans.
I mean, you literally just...
Shenanigans is a solid decade more recent than
go back
malarkey.
Minutes ago, you were actually quoting Joe Biden. So,
okay. And then...
maybe if you don't want to be confused for Joe Biden, do not speak as Joe Biden does, I guess.
Look here, fat. You dog-paced phony soldier.
You know, look here, fat actually is a little bit younger. I could see Dick Zoomer saying look here, fat.
Yeah.
Like using fat as a noun
Look
to
here,
refer to
fat.
someone. That sounds like a Zoomer thing.
So he also said, Edward Ombre says, Cardin says, you know what I'm saying so much? I'm beginning to doubt myself that I know what he's saying. You know, you might just come full circle, Edward.
All right, and really quickly, $2 super chat from Michael Alexander said, do y'all believe in Atlantis?
Ooh.
I guess you got to define Atlantis, right? Perhaps, right? Anyway, I want to take a look at
yes,
couple...
100%. Go read Graham Hancock's America Before. It's somewhere out there, baby. I know it. It was America. I guarantee you there were ancients that actually came to America. I guarantee you that whatever they wrote about Atlantis was freaking America. The modern arrogance of archaeologists thinking that life only began 2,000 years ago and people weren't smart until then has been completely debunked so many times, especially with the findings in Turkey at Göbekli Tepe. You know what I'm saying? That we were more than just a bunch of hunter-gatherer Neanderthals bumping our way between rocks until we figured out where there were berries and woolly mammoths to find, all right? We were intelligent, sentient beings who were conquering this earth and going places. And one of those places just happened to sink into the ocean or was mislabeled. Instead of calling it North America after Americo, the person that founded it, they just called it Atlantis. I think they just happened to come down all the way from Greenland into the Great Lakes, and Atlantis is really just Detroit.
They're crazy, man.
Yeah. Atlantis is Detroit, dog.
It's not Detroit. It's a real magical city at the bottom of the ocean. It's like a dome and people live in there. We've never been able to reach because it's so far down to the bottom, but it is magic and it is real. That's what I think about Atlantis.
Dude, Michael Alexander said, damn, Cardin's more woke than I thought. Now that's real woke. That is real woke right there.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, just a little update. 45 minutes from now, polls should be closing.
How many minutes now?
Top of the hour, 45 minutes from now.
Sorry, I had to check my Apple Watch. It hasn't been charged quite yet on my Apple stand. But I'm not a Mark. I'm not an Apple Mark. That's Cody's nickname for me. For those of you guys that don't know, he calls me an Apple Mark. So anyway,
you just buy all their products uncritically. I don't know. What is the word for that? Just uncritically purchasing a company's products.
Shanav DPC
insisting
says,
on only those companies' products. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Could be crazy.
Azural says the Sphinx isn't Egyptian, but was much older in Egypt when the water enforced around. Yeah, it's true. There is water erosion on the Sphinx that puts it easily somewhere between 10 and 15,000 BC. A lot of people think that it predates the Ice Age that developed, which actually made the Nile kind of like the Fertile Crescent at that time. And then it wasn't just this big, fat, dry desert in the Sahara like it is now. It was actually a lush forested community. That's the only way you could explain all of the water erosion that surrounds the Sphinx. And the Sphinx predates all of the other areas around it by thousands of years to such a degree that they believe it was actually getting repaired by the time that the Egyptians built the...
Are you sure the Sphinx wasn't made in like the 20s? I heard that story. It was made in the 20s and it was used for photos.
We've got pictures on it and postcards from the late 1800s, bro. So that kind of debunks that theory.
Well, they're not real though. They're fake. Anyway, Andrew Yang tweeted this out earlier today. But earlier today, I of course am saying 11 minutes ago, and he said, "I am so proud of this campaign. Thank you to everyone who got us here." I think it's by the end of the night that tweet can take on a couple different meanings, right? So I think it's very interesting. So that's where we're starting tonight, boys. We're starting here, but boys and girls. Starting with Andrew Yang saying, "I'm so proud. Thank you to everyone." Is that the, like, you know, it was a great night. Oh my God, thank you so much, everyone. We shocked the world. Or is it well, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, I can see him saying this exact same thing 6 hours from now and meaning two very different things, right?
That's true. That's true, man. Also, there's a lot of... there's a lot of comments here on the Sphinx, okay? And I want to know if the chat is interested in a Sphinx video.
Hey, is the Sphinx on the ballot tonight in New Hampshire?
No. It's the only time I'm going to ask it. And I've got the double hat power right now, okay? But I got to know. I've wanted to do some history stuff. The Google algorithm doesn't really reward historical videos, though, because... they don't suggest them, and also you always are going to bring some controversial term up that you're not supposed to say.
Not necessarily true, but...
No, but I'm saying in a lot of modern historical stuff, especially the Egyptology, because all the way up until the 30s... Look, I was actually going to be an Egyptologist, and I was going to graduate in Egyptian archaeology. One of the requirements was if you're going to study Egyptology, you actually had to take and be proficient in and get a minor in German, because so much of the best early archaeology in Egypt was pre-World War, late 19th and early 18th century German archaeologists, okay, whose work had not been widely translated into English still, and you had to be able to read the originals. And a lot of this stuff was actually stolen by the NAZIs. So how do you make a video where you mention the NAZIs without saying the word NAZI so the Google algorithm gets you? See? That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, would you all be interested in a Sphinx video? Yes or no? Just say yes to the Sphinx or no to the Sphinx, and we'll move on. So anyway.
Oh, my God. This is driving me crazy.
What?
This is they literally are doing it again. Oh, no, I got to find it. I want to show you guys where it says it again.
Yeah, now before we put these data...
Do you remember in Iowa what it said all night when we were waiting for those Iowa results? What they kept saying?
Yeah.
This is bad. Ominous. First results are expected to come in soon. Oh no! Soon was the 5 hours. Now, obviously, New Hampshire is a lot easier to get done than Iowa. It appears already, and just in general. But it appears that as of 18 minutes ago, most polls are closed. So we should start getting the first kind of big chunk of updates. I don't like running with like 70% reporting, but it's coming soon, whatever that means.
Hey, we got a super chat from Michael Alexander. Yes, Cardin. The Rishat structure was Atlantis. All right, rock on. I do believe he's talking about the underground. It looks like it's carved out by humans. Some people try and say that it's a natural occurrence, but it's pretty sick. You got to check that out. So anyway, getting some no's, getting some yeses. We'll have to do the official. Poll. But anyway, I got to say, I am worried about that word soon. And this has been on my mind, and I might as well get it off my chest right now before the official results start coming in. It's cool to see Andrew Yang at 11.1% in some of these early numbers, but it's way too early to tell.
Did you look at the numbers?
Yeah, the sample size is what? How many?
I think he had 5 votes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they always, all of these different news outlets rush to be the first to report numbers. But instead of being in a rush to be the best, they're in a rush to be the first.
Well, no, like they are reporting. It was just there was early voting. It's just they weren't. They're not the kind of numbers you want to run with.
I don't even
but they're not like fake
take
or
a
anything.
breath until at least a third of the votes are counted. I don't even take a breath and think twice about the numbers until at least a third of the votes are counted.
Well, we have some updated numbers here. So here we go. On screen.
Let's hit it.
Right
On
now, we got going to the next page. Here we go. More candidates, tab extended, and currently, right now, leading the pack with 900. Oh my God. Amy Klobuchar has 802 votes, is in second place.
What?
She's trailing Bernie Sanders by double-digit votes. That is pretty crazy, man. It looks like we got a Mr. Buttigieg, who is already having the legs fall off his campaign. Elizabeth Warren, okay. Biden, wow, man. Biden, but then also, not good for Yang being, and again, what's really scary for Yang, and even though this is this is still 1% in, they're saying, but we're in the 100. They're in hundreds of votes now. Of course, New Hampshire doesn't have thousands of people, so we're going to see more votes come in. Just saying, Yang definitely wants to break free of the Gabbard-Steyer pack as things continue. And dude, if Klobuchar, and again, guys, like we were just talking about, wait until the numbers are really in all the way before we start taking too deep of a look at this stuff. This is still estimating 1% in. I gotta say, Deval Patrick and Michael Bennett are literally below the Harambe line right now. And by the way, both those write-ins are Michael Bloomberg.
Hey, dude, Anthony Gambone says, if Klobuchar wins, I'm going to the Green Party. Don't go to the Green Party, just vote Trump. So I do have to say, if Klobuchar wins, that will literally be a creation of the media. Her push was a creation of the media. And then the DNC accommodated the media because they were pushing her. And she literally is an absolute fabrication of media hype. You know what I'm saying? What they tried to do to Kamala, they couldn't pull off with Kamala. So they didn't want to with Elizabeth Warren. So they decided, we're going to go with Klobuchar. There's a good chance she'll invite us to her nerd prom. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I do have to say, I was a little bit disheartened, Cody, when I found out that 67% of America thought that Pete Buttigieg's policies were just right. There was good, bad, or pretty much just right. And it was like less than 8% of the people thought that his fake civil rights thing was bad, apparently.
Healthcare is currently leading with New Hampshire voters, 37%. And this is also interesting, too. They prefer a nominee who can beat Trump more than they prefer a nominee who agrees on their issues.
See, that's negative partisanship.
I guess. I mean, you could.
That's the definition of negative partisanship.
Or you could also say what we're happening here is there isn't any candidates that are really winning the hearts and minds of people. So that's there isn't anyone whose policies I love that much. So I guess those voters can be Trump, right? We don't know for sure what it is, but both are logical conclusions. I would say, just who knows what it is.
So here's my question for you, though, and I want to know what you think about this. I think it's BS when they do these polls and say, what's the number one issue for you? Climate change, healthcare, this. They name what they want the issues to be that they think Democrats are stronger at, especially the establishment Democrats.
What?
And
what does that even mean? I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, think of it this way, Cody. Just try this for 1 week, even just 2 or 3 days, and tell me how it doesn't alter your perception of the relationship with the DNC
how about this?
and the media. Hold on, just let me finish.
Okay.
Instead of viewing the media as the propaganda arm of the DNC, view the DNC in your mind as a natural product of the hype generated by the media. The politicians are following the hype instead of the hype following the politicians. And when you think of it that way, you realize why all of these things that they say are supposedly what the American people are thinking about trend so high in these polls, because that's the only question they're asking. If they're actually allowed to say, what's your number one thing? I think most people would say the economy, because that's what all of the Rasmussen polls and that's what all of the Pew Research polls say.
Data showing the inverse. Since the economy isn't less people are concerned with the economy today than they were 4 years ago. So we're seeing healthcare rise up as an issue. Dude, I definitely think there's an issue where the polls find a thing that thing is given to the candidates. The candidates then legitimize that thing, and then it reinforces what the
And
media
who's giving them
reports.
that thing? The
But I'm saying
media.
is, but sometimes it's just like a game of telephone. Like it just by the time it gets to the politicians, what people
a game
actually
of
want
telephone
is
started
distorted.
by whom? The media.
Well, but started by the pollsters. I know you hate the media the most. I don't like them either, but sometimes I think the part is just I think the Democrats in particular right now, just because they don't have. Dude, you know what's kind of funny? I've noticed when you look at when you look at Donald Trump and what he means to the Republicans, because he's such a big dominating figure that runs this, and the Democrats don't have it. It's kind of like in football where it's amazing what happens to an NFL franchise when they have a guy who's a good quarterback. Like, there's so many issues that just don't come up. Like, coaches get fired less often. Like, it's like all these problems that everyone has, the real problems just kind of get swept under the rug. They're like, yeah, this guy isn't as good. But when you have a team that has no quarterback, which are a bad one, no candidate, no leader, no one that people rally behind, oh my God, man! Just everything's a mountain. You know what I mean? There's no molehills. They're all mountains at that point because you have nothing to cover up any of these issues. And I think that's what we're seeing, man. It's where you run into where they don't know. I mean, you look at, and also, sorry, the one last thing, looking at some of those early numbers. And by the way, the numbers we showed you guys earlier, I'll show you guys again right now. These I'm showing they're from CNN. Estimated 3%, and they actually just got updated again. We're expecting another update in 5 seconds. Oh, we can watch countdown already. 3, 2, 1, and
boom.
It should be updating. It didn't though. Anyway, every 10 seconds it updates. But I'll put the link so you guys can get a better look at it. But that's what we're seeing coming out so far. Again, don't take too much. I mean, obviously these are real results coming in. That's the thing. But it's 3% of the results. It isn't something I would say to take too, I don't want to say too serious, but it's not too much to heart. This isn't necessarily what's going to happen and just what's happening so far.
All right. This is pretty awesome. I'm excited. I'm stoked. And this is what politics are about. This is what we missed in Iowa, bro. This kind of cool, let's see what's going on. It's like the Super Bowl. It's like betting in Vegas, Hey, Cody.
Yeah.
What if next time we did this in a live stream from Vegas, dog? And we bet on Yang.
We
could do the Nevada one.
Hold on.
What?
I do believe it is illegal. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. In the United States of America, you cannot place a bet on something like that. Maybe you can on presidential ones, but I know there's stricter rules inside of America on what you can bet on as far as, for example, when it comes to sports betting, I don't think you can bet on if coaches get fired or not. In America, you have to go offshore for that. I think in America, you can bet, obviously, on game lines and spreads and stuff. I'm saying, my point being, dude, we can do the stream from here. I'll pull up the screen. We'll go online. We'll put in some bets. I'm fine with doing that, putting down some bets on the next primary vote. No, I'm not. I think the next one's Nevada, so never mind. South Carolina, not Nevada. I'm not going to bet on the Nevada caucus, which might be a disaster. Last I heard, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be basically barcode scanning the pages or something.
That was weird. I didn't get that one.
It feels like they're floundering because they try to come out and say, we will not be using any kind of software or any kind of apps. And it's like, well, obviously, nowadays you are. It's just don't have it be a disaster like Iowa. Anyway, we're still looking at only 3% in right now as reporting. You'll see Bernie Sanders. What's weird is that dude, if this momentum keeps up, man, can you believe? Imagine if they're that desperate to get rid of Bernie Sanders. They're just and then you can't rig it so Pete Buttigieg wins every state, but you can rig it so Amy Klobuchar wins a state, Pete Buttigieg wins one, maybe Biden. They're just buying time for Mr. Bloomberg, man. I wonder how many of those 59 write-ins are Michael Bloomberg. I wonder how many.
Dude, that's a good question, man.
I know 2 for sure.
Dude, that's actually a really good question, dude. And also, I mean, we know that he ended up winning the state. We know Bloomberg won the state that had 5 people vote.
It was a county or whatever. It had
the
5
or whatever.
No, city.
Yeah.
5 people live in the city.
All
Sorry,
right.
I think there's a rule in New Hampshire. It says if less than 100 people live in your city, you can do your primary as early as 12 a.m. Because, literally you can get the 5 people that live in the town into a room.
So do you think he just got those people in that town as a press stunt?
Maybe they just saw his commercials, man.
Oh, dude, that's true. That's true. So I guess that's proof that rural America isn't all just for Trump.
Yeah. Well, also,
apparently they're for Bloomberg, too.
But to mention, Bernie, this is one of those things where, and I'm not going to use another sports analogy. It's just that, this is basically as home field will get for Bernie until he literally runs in Vermont. I mean, this is his backyard. It's one of those kind of, it's a good problem, but, he kind of has to win.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if Bernie Sanders can't lose New Hampshire, at least he can't lose it bad, right? I mean, like, you have to win the state, man. I wonder how far of a drive it is to his house from wherever he is currently campaigning in New Hampshire, right? I mean, like, it is his backyard. It is home field advantage. It's kind of that, the burden of expectations, right? Where it's like, well, you better win, man. Like, people aren't going to accept a second or third place finish, which, by the way, by all accounts, I think he will also win New Hampshire for that reason. It is kind of his home turf. He's more familiar, people in that area of the country. Let me know in chat. I still have had nobody tell me of any Vermont/New Hampshire regional beef. Maybe it exists. I haven't heard of it, but I would imagine that would help him.
I would imagine so as well. So, here's my question for you, Cody. What percentage do you think Andrew Yang's going to get?
I honestly don't know. I mean, we're looking right now at 3% of people turned in. I do know, because here's the thing that I'd have to look and see more of, and they do have a little bit of a map down here, but we definitely need to see more, because I do believe I heard Andrew Yang wisened up. I would call it wisening up with me, but I'm just saying other people as well have kind of noted this, Sonus, in my opinion, that it seems like Andrew Yang is focusing in specific rural counties he thinks he can win in New Hampshire, as opposed to the all-around.
The classic areas, yeah.
Well, as opposed to everywhere like he tried to do in Iowa. By the way, multiple interviews over the last few days, Andrew Yang has said, yeah, to go back to it, I don't want to go relive everything, but I do think it was obvious. Sorry, the seltzer waters always get me. It is obvious that on the debate stage, Andrew Yang, I think, was thinking a little bit about Iowa still. Kept saying Ohio.
Yeah, it was on his mind, man.
And then in recent interviews, what has he said multiple times? In hindsight, I really wish we didn't campaign in Iowa that way, especially with how the results turned out, like just the muddiness of it. Maybe I would have been better off just kind of skipping the state altogether and going to a New Hampshire or a South Carolina first. So he's come out and admitted it. I think he did realize that was an issue. But if they took that and said, we need to find where we can win and focus resources there, then we could see all of a sudden Yang spike up a few percentage points. I think he needs to be at least near double digits tonight, though. Like, that's where he needs to be to have it called a success.
All right, I agree. Thou art strong and wise, Cody, the Oracle. So anyway.
And yes, to make the debate, one delegate.
Dude, he just needs one, man.
And we are currently at, right now, we are at...
I bet you he gets 2.
Sorry, it's going to update in 0 seconds. I can tell you guys where we're at reporting, according to CNN, at least.
Here, take the camera off me, because I'm making you an overlay.
Well, we are at 4% reporting currently, still. So, not much has changed. Buttigieg, actually, I take that back. Buttigieg has surged ahead of Klobuchar in the recent update that we got in. Which is weird to me, but... Maybe Buttigieg was good in New Hampshire. We did see that like 70% of voters said they liked his policies, but then we also said that a majority. I guess one thing we can take, if some of the exit polling we saw was correct. By the way, exit polling tends to be more correct than not, because it isn't likely voters. It tends to be literal voters, people who have already voted, who were there, right? So that helps a bit, but I do really wonder is this the voters in New Hampshire saying they think Buttigieg can beat Trump? And was it the same in Iowa? Like is there just a prevailing idea that Buttigieg would be a good competitor to Trump, perhaps? Because people are saying, I have to admit, it is kind of, if 70% of voters, if that is in New Hampshire, and that's 70% of voters across the country only want someone that can beat Trump, and that's what they're focused on, then yeah, like, you're kind of wasting time talking policy at this point, it sounds like. It sounds like you really should be just pounding the table and explaining how you're going to win, which isn't what Buttigieg does either, so I don't know, really weird.
Okay, that's true. I just lost hope when I found out that 2/3 of Americans think that Pete Buttigieg's policies are any good. That's just me, and that's just where I stand, but, yeah, that kind of freaked me out a little bit, I have to admit. Cody, have you ever been to New Hampshire?
I think so, when I was little.
You have? Cool. Do you know what the population is by chance?
Like 1 million people probably around there.
Close. Actually, not as bad as Vermont. In fact, let's look up population.
That's
I want to
Vermont,
be exact.
650,000, I think.
Well, New Hampshire actually has a large urban center, so it's... It hits over 1 million, but it's 1.356 million people.
Yeah, you're roughly 1 million people. Okay.
All right.
Shout out. I see you, New Hampshire. I see you.
Okay. And then right now we're going to look up the population of Iowa. So 1.35 plus 3.15. Less than 4 million people. Less than 4 million people right now are deciding what the, quote, trajectory of the Democrat Party is going to be. When there's not that many people in our county.
But that's also
Cody, our county.
Okay, but that's also why, like, a big part of the reason why is because it's because the media. What do you know? What are we doing now? Are we not sitting around talking about New Hampshire tonight, dude? There's nothing else to talk about. There's
we got
no votes.
10.2 million.
Super Tuesday is obviously when most people have their voice heard. Why do you think Michael Bloomberg isn't bothering to run any of these states except Super Tuesday? Why do you think he didn't notice that? He's like, well, I guess if I win, because here's the thing, it is a good messaging win to do well in these states. If you're worth $50 billion and you won California and New York, wow, you know, like cool.
Wow.
Like this guy is especially for the Democrats. Again, when I say talking about Michael Bloomberg, I'm really talking more about the DNC, like literally, like the people who are in making decision power. Tom Perez, people like that. They need what he has in abundance, which is money, and someone willing to spend it on their candidates, spend it on their.
Hey,
I mean,
you know
they're
what?
in debt and they barely have any money on hand. They need the money. Bloomberg donating $10 million to candidates across the country bails the DNC out from having to bear that burden.
Yeah. Do you know what Wikipedia, our friends over at the Wiki of Pedia, do you know what they say about New Hampshire? Just to give you an idea what state we're dealing with.
What do you mean? What do they say about
New Hampshire?
Is it a lovely state?
A U.S. state, New England, is defined by its quaint towns and large expanses of wilderness. In the north, White Mountain National Forest is known for its winter sports areas, and Mount Washington, the region's highest peak, with a cog railway to its summit. Apparently, there's one thing to do that makes it onto Wikipedia over there. Also, in the White Mountains are moose, black bears, and part of the Appalachian Trail.
What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
That's it.
Okay, well,
that's all in New Hampshire. In
I don't
a
know why.
nutshell.
I don't know why you hate New Hampshire so much. I guess I think I went there when I was a child. Very nice. The northeast part of the country is very lovely. Very a lot of.
It's true, but you got to go there in fall when the
Especially-
leaves are changing
I
colors.
don't know if it was fall. I think I went there maybe in like the winter, but not winter. It wasn't snowing, but it wasn't warm either. I don't know. I guess it's never warm. Either way, I have no flame from New Hampshire coming from this side. Apparently, nothing but flame coming at New Hampshire from this side.
What are you talking about? Hey, I dated a girl from New Hampshire. Yep. That worked out all right.
And yeah, also, by the way, I want to point that out. For some reason, we reverted back to 3% of the count instead of 4%. I can't tell you guys why. Like, literally, I'll send the link again. You guys can watch this thing the same way I am. I literally just have the CNN thing open, and it automatically updates it for 10 seconds. That's the webpage. And yeah, for some reason, it reverted back a percentage point. So you'll notice Amy Klobuchar is back to second place because we lost a couple hundred votes. So another one of the reasons why I said, guys, like these numbers, I just have them up so we can see them as they come in. This isn't necessarily... Oh no, Yang's gonna get 2%. Like this is, we have less than 4% of the votes coming in right now. We're still waiting for a lot to come in. This is what we see.
Cool beans, man.
I will say it is pretty ridiculous that we're seeing. I mean, it's not obviously as bad. I was hearing the party was hoping to have finalized numbers ready in about 2 hours. Because it is Eastern time in New Hampshire. It's not going to blow it like Iowa, which is an Eastern time. It is Eastern time in New Hampshire, so it'll be 3 hours from now. They're hoping to have things done by 9:30 local time, which would be about 3 hours from now. A little bit less, right? So hopefully we do have finalized numbers by there. I mean, honestly, like I said, I don't like to put too much stock in the numbers till they're more or less final. Once you get to 97, 98, 99, unless it's 1 percentage points differences, you can kind of get an idea of what's going to happen.
Word?
But I would say at less than 70. Now, I do like it better like this where it comes out point by point by point instead of Iowa where they just drop 70%. And it's like, well, like that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, if it's close, it'll obviously a lot can change in 30%. So I don't know. I'll switch off in a minute just so we don't have to keep staring at this like this because it is, especially if it's going to keep going down, you know, like that is, yikes, not a good sign. So hopefully we get another update, another positive update going up.
Whew. I'm on pins and needles, Cody. Pins and needles. We have to figure out some kind of ritual, Cody, so that when we're nervous, we're not sure what's going to happen, we can just perform said ritual and it will calm our nerves. I've got medical marijuana in my back pocket. What are you thinking? No. Did I just watch us get demonetized and copyright struck? Or not copyright struck, but shadow banned for that terminology I just used.
Oh, no, I should probably just keep talking about it.
Oh, that's true. I'm sending you another overlay here, if you would like it, via Discord. So all of our esteemed audience can see multiple screens at once if you do so choose.
Okay, I'll see if I set that up. Right now, nothing's coming in yet too important, but if we get to that, I'll do it. Because we're still just waiting. I mean, honestly, what I'm looking for from the news peoples is this, which is still just, it's still at 3%. That is weird. Like, I really don't want to see this be the trend of the night, where we have more shenanigans, more funny business in the final count. I was led to believe that would not be the case in New Hampshire, but hey, the night is young, so to speak.
So I'm going to look up Tom Perez's Twitter feed right now because you know this guy is sweating bullets right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Perez actually hasn't tweeted in a while.
You think so?
I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he has. I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if he hadn't either.
Because it says he likes the at Buffalo Bills and the at Democrats fighting for the little guy, though not in that order. Father of three. That's quaint. So anyway,
by the way, that'll tell you everything you need to know about Tom Perez. He's a Bills fan, so.
Yeah, so anyway, he says, I want to thank Chairman Buckley and the New Hampshire Democrats and all the hardworking and passionate organizers, also known as Trump haters, and staff who poured their hearts into these campaigns. Our democracy wouldn't be what it is without passionate people to fight for it. Well, I think he meant to say our republic wouldn't be what it is without passionate people willing to fight for it. But that was cute, and you are correct. He has not tweeted before then since February 6th.
Yeah, I know.
Boom shakalaka.
Well, people are calling for his resignation on a daily basis.
He's in hiding, and
he's
he just came out of hiding to say nice things.
Staying off Twitter. Well, yeah, he's going to come out at Twitter and say, oh, you guys are all idiots, just dumb voters. What do you know? I'm Tom Perez. Like, what else is he going to say but beg for his job in every tweet from this point? And also, he's begging the New Hampshire Dems to not make him look bad again. Because, oh, by the way, remember you mentioned his tweet getting ratioed as we speak. We can actually watch it get ratioed in real time.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, he's getting ripped apart.
So,
man.
Yeah, there we go. That's nice. I mean, I wonder why Tom Perez is staying off. He got ratioed on his. He got absolutely killed. Not super bad, but he got ratioed in his last 3 straight tweets. And by that, you can look. The comments are not only getting way more comments than retweets. He's getting way more comments than likes. That is not good, man. I'll tell you what, if I want to let someone know how I feel about them, I don't typically retweet or like, but I definitely comment. So that's the entomology, I guess, for you guys of being ratioed. But you can see, people are not hearing anything he has to say. I don't know what he can say at this point. And the problem is, like you said, the person that he kind of won the power struggle to become the head of. I don't think Keith Ellison at this point necessarily is the best person to pass it over to either, right? So it's a tough part for the party right now. Because Keith Ellison has his own set of issues that have been following him around. So
it's like, who do you give it to? The guy that botched the Iowa caucuses or the dude that beats his girlfriend?
Well, but he didn't. You know? I mean, Tom Perez didn't botch the Iowa caucuses. It's not his fault necessarily.
He's the leader. The buck stops with you, man.
He's responsible, but I wouldn't say he's that. Does that make sense? Like, obviously, yes, he should have had better oversight, but he didn't cause it. You know what I mean? He just didn't manage it well.
Yeah, so Marion H. brings out a good point and says, well, at least they're all reporting. We don't have to wait a whole week to get our hearts broke. Well, they technically were reporting during the Iowa caucuses, too. You know what I'm saying? It just ended up being all in bad, defunct information, and it definitely was not on the first day. You're right. So,
freaking CNN, man.
Ultimate TH says, a lot of weak Yang supporters here. Where's the rep for Yang Gang's energy? Or are we just a lot of fakers here? Oh, man, that's the guy you want on your football team. That's the guy you want on your basketball team. Or your cribbage champion. Or your field hockey team, or whatever sport you engage in.
How about I got a crazier one. How about this? But just that's the person you want on your team.
Okay. Hey, Marcus Robert Johnson's back with a super chat. Want me to read it? You want to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Andrew Yang, want to give people their tax money to decide how to better their lives. Boom shakalaka. That's right. Sanders wants to take our money. Oh, snap. That's true. Sanders wants to take our money because he knows better than we do on how to better our lives. Oh, that's true. It is the arrogance of the socialist left. And I think that word is gonna haunt Bernie Sanders, especially with the older boomer crowd. I don't think it's as scary to the younger crowd because They don't remember the Cold War. They don't remember all of except for some of the people with Cuban heritage in Florida that are still.
That's not the reason why young people tend to have.
Because we have nothing, so we don't care if socialists promise us something.
Yes.
Because we have nothing to conserve. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. That's why young people, by and large, aren't threatened by the
boomers
idea of
ruined
socialism,
America,
because
dog.
they like young people. I think it's funny. Steve Bannon, right? Trump advisor Steve Bannon said millennials are essentially serfs. They own nothing.
Dude, that's true.
I wish I could prove him wrong, right? Anyway, let's see what's going on. Oh, there we go. We just jumped up to 8% in on New Hampshire, and Yang still at 2.9, still behind Gabbard and Steyer. He's past them for sure. At least hasn't finished above.
Dude, I'm
them.
liking Sly Cactus, man. Who's this Sly Cactus cat? I don't remember seeing him in our chats or her in our chats anywhere.
Not sure.
You know, but dude, 3 or 4
also, by the way,
solid good
shout
comments.
out. That's a Final Fantasy avatar, not a SMT one. So shout out. My mistake.
A running cactus is a Final Fantasy avatar? Wow, okay, cool.
Also, going to the results, Klobuchar is getting passed by Buttigieg. It just jumped up to 8%, guys.
But
so
Buttigieg,
you'll notice
what
a big
does
change in
anybody
numbers.
see in Buttigieg? Please, are there any people in the chat that used to be Buttigieg fans? Or very, very closely related
I have friends
to
that
somebody?
are Buttigieg fans.
How do you, oh yeah, who? What, among gamers?
No, like I'm not going to tell you who, but I have friends that are Buttigieg
I want
fans.
names and social security numbers and addresses.
And the last 4 digits of your credit card. Yeah, just give me the last the 3 numbers in the back of your credit card, your debit card, and the last 4 on your debit card. I just need those. No, a lot of people like to say he seems like he's really smart and he served in the military, and he's like that's what I hear most. People think he seems really smart. People that are looking for a really smart dude to be president, a lot of them like Buttigieg. Not going to tell them you're wrong for thinking he's smart. I don't agree with his policies, but hey, man, people are. Oh, and we dropped back to 3%. Dude, I am pulling off this CNN one. I'm going to find a better one. This is ridiculous. The second time it's just dropped down 20% or whatever. I'm going to try to find us a better results page. That is, I'm so mad. It is really frustrating, though. I don't know why I did that. New Hampshire live. Is it New Hampshire or New Hampshire, huh? It looks like we are, and I believe this... Okay, I'll leave this up, because I believe this is legitimately just the Associated Press numbers. Yes, so I'll run off the Associated Press. If they're wrong, hey, man, we'll take it. 4% reporting they have, so I don't know what's going on with the numbers. But that's what we got right now.
All right. I just sent you an overlay in case you want the 3 screens, bro. I'm kind of excited about it. That's all I can say. Anyway, I don't understand the Pete Buttigieg thing unless you are a very uninformed voter. But generally, uninformed voters aren't the ones that are participating in primaries. Usually, you know, your basic voter or your what's called low propensity voter will hit, you know, maybe not midterms, but they'll go to presidential elections and maybe an occasional special election in their town or something like that. But they're not high propensity. I mean, I think even in 2016, didn't 49% of America not even vote at all?
I think more, no, yeah.
More I think it was
people,
about 49% because we had a 51%. And I remember it was a big deal because over half of the voting age registered and potential registered voters actually voted. I remember that was a big deal because usually we're hanging around somewhere in the 30s and 40th percentile, right?
Okay, and sorry, just really quickly, New York Times is reporting at 5%, with Andrew Yang at 2.7% at this. Above Tulsi Gabbard in this one. So apparently no one knows what there is. I think part of this is just the early numbers are coming in. I would expect a few large batches.
Well, yeah, you know the burners are camping out because I'll tell you this right now. If I had an enthusiastic base like Bernie Sanders, and I've seen no whisperings of this in any of the chats. I've seen none of the whisperings of this in any of the chats on Andrew Yang. But I'd have people camping out there in those districts that are small and get reported first, just because I'd want to deliver that energy. Because, dude, I mean, I don't think the polls have the polls closed yet? Or are they, I can't remember. I know New Hampshire
like
99.9%
99.9% probably are. They will all be closed in 10 minutes. They, like 90% were closed 30 minutes ago. By and large, they are closing, yeah. So taking a look at some of the stuff going on here as far as, again, these numbers are really, really, really preliminary stuff. We have nothing for sure. CNN, I want to give a shout out to CNN for jumping up to 8th and back to 3. Hopefully we will get more fine. I mean, I would just like to start getting some legitimate actual numbers coming in so we could kind of get a better idea of obviously, like, yes, I want to see more numbers come in, but I want to get a better idea of what's going on with it jumping up to 3 and 8. And then really quickly, I want to go over a couple of super chats. We got one from Marcus Robert Johnson, $10. Thank you very much. Said, did you see the video of a caucus goer that found out Pete Buttigieg was gay? She snapped on the precinct captain. She wanted her vote back. This is identity politics. I didn't see that video, and the weirdest thing, too, is, like, one, it's kind of, like, scary to think that just shows up to caucus. Like, the people who show up to, they don't even know Pete Buttigieg is gay. Like, they're about to vote for him, and they don't even know that.
How could you not know about it?
Which
People
is
put it in
one.
your face like
and then
crazy.
two, to, like, freak out at that degree. That was pretty interesting. And then another $5 from Marcus Robert Johnson. He said, so when you say all they hear is in the military and a mayor, it's true they aren't voting on policies. And actually, that is a really interesting point. Yeah, I will say the people I know who are big Pete Buttigieg fans, not like massive campaigners.
I never see them mention a policy.
But they like him. But like I said, there's
he knows 7 languages. Okay, so what? I know 3.
There's a lot of people this year when they're going to vote, as we saw put out, that are looking more for someone they think could beat Trump than they do think has policies they align with. That is what we're seeing time and time again.
Word.
You could argue probably another thing that adds to the uphill battle for Andrew Yang is people aren't looking for policy so much right now as they're looking for kind of
it's negative partisanship.
And
they hate Trump.
I don't think it's negative partisanship. I think the bigger
we just
thing
had the data prove it's negative partisanship.
We didn't. It doesn't prove anything. It perhaps suggests it. It could prove 5 things for all we know. My opinion.
Other 4 things?
Like I said, I think people are desperate to find a new leader of the party, and they're looking for someone to fall in line behind. People generally want to be led, but they have to find the leader to lead them. And right now, there's nobody. Bernie's shown time and time again. If Bernie Sanders cannot stand up for one of his surrogates criticizing Joe Biden of all people, like, I don't think that's who people want to fall in line behind if it's not an ideological reason that they want what Bernie's going to give them. Aside from that, they're going to fall behind Bernie. Pete Buttigieg, I guess they're looking at him as a potential leader. Don't know why. Why do you think Warren collapsed and crumbled in the polls? Because no one looks at her as the leader of the country. And not even the country at this point. The Democrats are trying to find the leader of the party. Dude, the same thing happened way back 4 years ago with the Republicans. People were saying the same things. Republican Party's done. It's in ruin. It's crumbling. They have no leadership. And then it just takes one person to get everyone in line and be that leader. And it changes. Like I said, you find that quarterback in the draft and wow, what do you know? All your problems go away. Or a lot of them are minimized. I think that's what's happening. People aren't necessarily looking for that policy leader. I mean, let me ask you a question. Obama, what were the great Obama policy promises that he championed and ran on? There wasn't really policy.
You're right, and that's why he's such a crappy president.
But it doesn't matter. You know what? He also won 2 elections, okay? So if you want to talk about is he good at campaigning? Yeah, he was. He won twice.
I didn't say he was a crappy candidate. He's one of the best candidates I've ever seen in my life.
My point exactly, though, is right now there's nobody is that on the Democratic side. Nobody. And it's frustrating.
May I make a comment on behalf of some people in our chat?
No.
Master Swizzy says, I like this vicious version of Cody. This vicious version, an alliteration. And Emperor Xander says, yes, Cody, let the anger flow, with a little bit of support here from some others that say, Cody getting fired up. We might have to have a Cardin versus Cody cage match soon. Which to a certain extent, I think might be, there might be some sport in that. Because you, with your shorter uppercuts, my groin's exposed, and this is wrestling.
Well, no, would there be weapons, though?
Yeah, that's true. Would there be...
By the way, I just want to say that after briefly jumping up to 8%, for whatever reason, CNN is back reporting 3%. I don't know why, so perhaps an update or a bug or an issue, but I'll jump around. We'll see if we can get a better idea of what's going on with the numbers as they're coming in. I mean, again, they are so early, I wouldn't put a huge stock in them, but we are getting 6% now from the AP, and Andrew Yang is actually... Okay, so he's still in that Tulsi Steyer Gabbard pack, or Tulsi Steyer Gabbard, Yang Steyer Tulsi pack. He wants to definitely move up. Yeah, Biden, like I said, while going back to my old sports cliches, they always like you can't win a game in the first half, but you can lose it. You know what I mean? Like obviously with 9% coming in or whatever, you can't win the state. But man, if you're Joe Biden, like. You can lose the state at 10% reporting if you're Joe Biden, and you see it. I mean, that is not at all what Joe Biden wants to be seeing. So it did look like a little bit of that Amy stuff was just kind of outliers from who was reporting at the time. And again, of all the numbers, I'm going to take the Associated Press numbers the most serious just because they seem to have the most reputation to lose. And looking around, you know what? let's do some shout outs. Shout out to Raymond Moraz, the 1 vote. Shout out to you, Mr. Shout out to Moisey Boyd with the 1 vote. Shout out to Mark Greenstein with the 1 vote. Shout out to Henry Hughes with the 1 vote. Shout out to David Thistle. Shout out to Steve Bullock with 2 votes.
Yeah.
How about shout out to Marianne Williamson? Hold on. Former candidates Marianne Williamson, Julian Castro, Kamala Harris, John Delaney, Cory Booker. Come on down and collect your 3 to 5 votes. And wow, dude. Oh, and we actually had another update. We just now reached 1 more percentage point up, 1 more voting. It looks like at least Andrew Yang in the more recent reports might be pulling away from Tulsi. If he can close in with Steyer and get up to above Joe Biden, that would be the dream. But it does look like one thing people weren't really planning for. I wasn't planning for. I did not see the Klomentum coming. I really didn't. So the Klomentum might throw a wrench in the plans here a little bit. It really depends on if Klobuchar is for real or if Klobuchar is temporarily doing well, right? If she's for real, I will admit, if Amy Klobuchar is for real in this primary and she's gonna hit 16, 17, 18%, yeah, I don't know what that leaves left for Yang, right? Like, where is Yang's points left if she is 17, 18%? So keep an eye on that. We have a $7 super chat from Ribefish76 says, I felt like Yang's campaign was going better before the 16.5 million. Did we lose our scrappiness? And thanks for all your coverage. Thank you very much. I don't know if it's so much, it's I mean, to be frank, right, that was the last quarter 4 of 2019 before things got real. Now the voting's real, man. Now it gets tough, right? Like, if we thought it was tough before, nothing had happened yet. He was just trying to get into. Now it gets tough. Now the actual elections happen. Now we find out what is what. And it's like I said, Iowa proved to be a campaigning blunder for Yang. I would not be surprised if Yang underperformed again in New Hampshire if it happened, because New Hampshire would be where we'd see the blowback of spending too much time campaigning in Iowa, right? The blowback's going to be in the next state. It's not going to be on Super Tuesday. People aren't going to be saying, wow, there's been campaigning in Massachusetts back in February. But I do think that could be it. So that's also worth keeping in mind, guys. A lot of things about Iowa. Well, not performing well in Iowa itself isn't necessarily that big a deal. It's one state. Bill Clinton got 2% there, whatever. However, it's worth noting, people bring that up, Bill Clinton also didn't really bother campaigning in the state very much. Andrew Yang heavily campaigned in Iowa. That is the difference here. So it is worth keeping that in mind when you're looking at New Hampshire results. New Hampshire would be where the logical result of that consequences. Like, he's going to pay for losing out in 20 days of campaigning in the state that votes a week later. So that's a little context. We're at 7%, and I want to take a look, and Andrew Yang is he's still hanging around in between Steyer and Gabbard. Definitely wants to get above Steyer. And any other shout outs for anyone else joining the 1% club? No. Everybody, or did Tom Cruise just get 1? If he did, shout out to him, man. Like I said, it is pretty rough for Michael Bennett. Actually, 80 votes. 80 votes for Bennett. John Delaney. 10 votes for John Delaney. 10 votes for John Delaney.
Dude, it's a beautiful thing.
He's going to end in triple-digit votes.
He's your boy.
Actually, not anymore after he gave up. Quitters, sorry.
That's true. You know who became my boy after?
We don't stand quitters, okay?
Yeah. Do you know who became my boy after John Delaney quit?
Who?
Michael Bloomberg. Because he's just loud and proud about his oligarchy. I mean, he's like Alexander the Great that's like, I know I'm about to commit human rights abuses as I conquer your country, but that's why they call me the Great.
I don't know. Bloomberg's the
you
worst.
Know?
I think I'd rather, like there was that joke in 2016, like giant meteor of death. Like, give me giant meteor of death over Bloomberg any day. $5 super chat from Stephen Hudgens saying, are there any other libertarian leading Yang supporters or just me? Dude, as far as I know, there's a bunch of libertarian. It's one of the reasons why people like Andrew Yang, I think, is because a lot of his stuff is closer. And then one more thing, Jeremy, $2 super chat. Klob is sucking up the momentum. Oh, Biden, Pete, and Warren jumpers. Someone, right? Someone's voting for Amy Klobuchar. One more. No, Emmanuel. Yang really has nothing to lose at this point. He should start to destroy everyone. Thanks for all the videos. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll answer my questions. Are there any libertarian leaning Yang supporters? Yeah, right here. What? Boom. From libertarian.com, resist socialism. All right. Cody says I'm a right-wing SJW. No, I'm a L-wing SJW right here. You know what I'm saying? Actually, no. I'm a mixture. Are there any other libertarian leading Yang supporters? Yes, bro. We polled our audience once, and it was like a solid 15%, man. So you are not alone. Jeremy Klob is sucking up Biden, Pete, and Warren jumpers. Yeah, and it amazes me that it's her, though. Like, what do they have to offer? What does Klobuchar have to offer, Cody? You know, that makes it so that she's the second choice.
Perhaps nothing, and that's the point. People look at Bernie Sanders like, I don't want all that. And they look at Joe Biden like, I don't want all that either. And like, you know what? Amy Klobuchar, I guess.
She's breathing and has a pulse and won a Senate.
I think the best, I mean this is no disrespect, but the best way to sum up what a percentage of people who show up to vote actually, kind of think about things, that video of the woman who was finding out that Pete Buttigieg was gay as she was voting for him and then said, what? No, I can't vote for him then. It's like, that is the people who show up and vote. So keep that in mind.
I feel sad for somebody like that, though.
Keep that in mind for like what's going on as far as why would logically somebody vote for Amy Klobuchar instead of someone else? Because they probably don't really pay much attention. It's not like any disrespect or flame. It's there's the people who pay a bunch of attention, read a bunch, and don't vote. The same way there's people who read nothing, pay no attention, and do vote. Right? They're the same person as far as I'm concerned. Or what did the De Niro say? Two sides of the same coin. But it's the same thing.
Hey, so tell me, what do you feel about Noah Manuel's comment that Andrew Yang should just start owning people? Like, what if he just straight up went crazy on it? I'm fixing my Apple altar here.
Well, two things. One,
what if he just started going crazy and saying, Bernie, this is why your ideas are bad. Warren, this is why your ideas are bad. You don't have the data. Like, boom. And he just started doing that. Like, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't think he would crush it?
Sorry, what?
Oh, gosh, Cody.
I'm literally doing some other stuff.
Okay,
sorry.
You don't think that he would crush it if he all of a sudden just started going totally ape shiz on these people and going nuts, saying
it's not his thing. I definitely think he should be comparing his policies to others. But guess what? What did we just talk about? How it appears voters aren't voting on policy in this primary. They really aren't. So maybe he should shy away from policy. And then what? I think what he should harp on is electability. That is all anyone cares about. And the thing is, don't say he can beat Trump by taking his voters away, even though that is part of it, but he needs to emphasize what else. Because okay, fine, you'll get the disaffected Trump voters, but who else? You're not going to win an election on them alone. Who else are you going to pull? He has to basically sell. Remember when Obama was about selling coalitions? Whatever happened to that? It's a pretty good way to win the candidacy. No one talks about that anymore because they don't care. Clearly, Americans are not going to the voting booth to vote for their primary candidate in states like New Hampshire for policy reasons. Now, we have another 2 super chats or one. I think one super chat from Proud to be Pack TV, $5. Thank you very much. Said, why do you guys think on ground support isn't matching the results we have been expecting? And do you think it's time to bow out? I don't think it's time to bow out at all. There's still, like I said, it's Super Tuesday. I think is definitely a big day for this. Yang should at least hang in till Michael Bloomberg's running in the race. But I also, I think, like I said, I think he messed up in Iowa a little bit in the way he campaigned. It looked like they spread out their support too thin. Instead of saying, this is the county we have success in, we're getting that delegate, and then going for it, they seem to do more of a spread across the state tour. You mix that in with the state in general having just awful counting, it was doomsday for him. It sounds like they switched up the New Hampshire strategy. It's one of the reasons why, as this we keep getting the votes trickling in here, I wouldn't be shocked if all of a sudden Yang started spiking a bit for a little while and then kind of leveled in there. Because I've been led to believe, I don't have any proof, but I've just reading anecdotally, I've heard people saying that Andrew Yang has circled a couple counties, or one county in particular in New Hampshire, and said we're going to win this one, which I think is what he showed in Iowa. So if they do that, I think we will see the ground game bear out to more. I think the problem in Iowa is the ground game lacked a little bit of focus on the delegate they were targeting, and you kind of saw what happened. Because his like, for example, I think a good way of looking at it is he had 5% in the popular vote and then 1% in state delegate equivalents, right? Like, he just didn't game the delegates correctly. I think that's my opinion.
Huh? Did you read this PBS NewsHour?
No, and really quickly while you're explaining that, $2 super chat from Coastal Yang Gang. Politico is saying Yang is dropping out.
Yeah, I'm sending you a PBS link right now. PBS. It's got something similar. You might want to throw it up on the screen. I don't know PBS to be too much of a BSer. They're definitely biased towards governmental campaigns. It seems early for him to have done that, so I didn't believe it at first. But I'll look up the Politico article if you can
hold
look
on.
up
If
the-
this is having this might be massive breaking news. They appear to have
Yeah.
a quote from Zach Grumman saying he is dropping out. Well, I mean, you know what? Holy cow! Remember when I showed that tweet earlier this evening when Andrew Yang said, "Thank you guys for everything. It's been amazing what we did."
Is that just them making a preemptive sale because they want him to?
No, by the numbers, the decision was pretty clear. Zach Grumman, Yang's campaign manager, told the NewsHour on Tuesday, it doesn't feel honest to keep taking money and enthusiasm from our supporters, but also from the Democratic Party. It's obviously a difficult decision, but we believe the right one. Grumman said Yang no longer saw a real chance to win the nomination, but hopes to have a future in politics. Grumman would not say who, if anyone, Yang would endorse. Wow. So yeah, it appears as...
What?
I'll do some more digging to confirm, but Zach Grumman saying, quote, there is no path to the nomination. We're bowing out. It sounds to me like Yang has dropped out of the race. I did not expect. Yeah, I definitely did not expect. I mean, we showed that tweet earlier today, and it said, Andrew Yang could overperform, and it can mean something, or he can underperform. Let's see if he's. This is still the last thing he's tweeted on his Twitter account.
Here's the Politico article. Want me to send it to you?
No, I'll pull it up in a second. You can. It might help me pull it up. But I mean, that's still the last thing he's tweeted. Of course, it doesn't the Twitter account, but it appears. Holy cow, man! And that, like I said, until we get more proof, we have nothing to go up for sure. But it appears, that Andrew Yang has dropped out of the 2020 race. That is very interesting to me. Very interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know why there's a little bit of, like I said, I'm not going to say he has for sure. At the moment, it appears that's what's happened based by PBS running. I mean, because look, this is the quote from Zach Grumman.
Is this one of those articles that was written early, though? Because he's quoting, if you don't do well in the first two states, you start looking at the math. He can't look at how well he's done in the second state. Is this like that? Like an article that was written by that one Newsweek chick who said that he went to Mar-a-Lago and Trump didn't even go to Mar-a-Lago?
It could be about. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time someone ran a bonehead headline, but I would say if Politico's running with it. I'm literally checking my email to see if I got an email from the campaign telling me anything, because just get like supporter emails like, hey, we're letting you guys know. But I mean, it's being reported by at least two different networks now that Andrew Yang has dropped out of the 2020 election. That is in many ways surprising. For one, I mean, as someone just had pointed out in the comments, like, I don't know what he had to lose running another month or two. I guess if he really thinks he has no chance, but yeah, Politico's reporting, same thing. You know what is interesting too? Both these articles were published at exactly 5 p.m., which tells me 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, which would tell me something along the lines of this is something that they had been planning basically the whole day, and they were just waiting to release it. This is reported by Politico. Andrew Yang dropped out of the Democratic presidential primary on Tuesday night after a likely disappointing showing in the New Hampshire primary. The entrepreneur and political newcomer who emerged out of obscurity. In an interview with Politico, there was a part of me that thought that we might be able to win this race and get this done this cycle. Yang told Politico in an interview, and so it was a lot of disappointment because when you're goal-oriented and you're a builder, it's very hard to pat yourself on the back and say, job well done if you didn't win. But rationally and objectively, I know that we've done something unprecedented and remarkable. Wow. I mean, that's a quote from Yang himself. What it appears happened here is it looks like about an hour ago, they contacted the press, released their statements, and said, hey, at 5, release this. And or maybe an hour ago, but at some point, wow.
But they're pressing quotes, and none of those quotes actually say, yes, I'm dropping out.
I mean, I guess you're right. He hasn't. It isn't an app. It's just software preloaded on an iPad. You know what I mean? Like, it does appear by all accounts, and until Andrew Yang comes out and says this isn't the case, I mean, dude, we have 2 articles here with quotes from the man himself and Zach Grumman saying it appears, which is
come on, but
is shocking, right?
That could be a theoretical quote. Like, I'm looking. There's nothing from Andrew Yang saying I'm dropping out.
Theoretical. So based off of theoretical quotes that were pulled out of the sky, both Politico and PBS just made this up. I'm not saying 100% that's what's happened, but I'm telling you what is being reported at the moment is this. Dude, both these articles are reported at the exact same minute. They're published the same minute, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the 2nd. It sounds like the campaign.
Is this just another? Is this like the threshold of Yang media blackout?
Really quickly, Philip De Silva, $2 super chat. Is this the early dropout maybe due to a VP spot. I would not be surprised if he's thinking VP. They do mention that he wants to continue. Excuse me. Got by the LaCroix. They do mention he wanted to continue a career in politics, right? Yes. Grumman said Yang no longer saw a real chance to win, but hopes to have future in politics. Holy cow, man. I got to update the title, it looks like. But that is...
I was about to say, can you update the title of the stream of Yang drops out ?
That is... Well, yeah, because that isn't... That is...
Because I'm not seeing anything on the Yang Instagram. I'm not seeing anything on the Yang Twitter feed.
They aren't coming out to say that isn't what's happening. Like, I would definitely jump on Twitter and say, I didn't drop out. This is garbage. I wouldn't
But do they even know? Because
Dude, they're running quotes from Zach Grumman and Andrew Yang himself. I don't know what you want to say.
Yeah, but they're running quotes in which they're saying obvious platitudes of, look, if we don't do well in the first 2 states, then we're probably going to jump out and the math's not there.
The last thing Andrew Yang had said before these articles published was, I am so proud of this campaign. Thank you to everyone who got us here. Is the last thing he said. And then after that, we have quotes. I mean, I'll read you
But this is a perfect example of potentially leading the witness.
Can I read you the quotes?
Okay.
From Zach Grumman, the campaign manager.
I've already read them, but you can read them for the audience, yes.
My point being is, dude, by the numbers, the decision was pretty clear. It doesn't feel honest to keep taking money and enthusiasm from our supporters, but also from the Democratic Party. It's obviously a difficult decision, but we believe the right one. What part of that's vague? It appears to be at the moment. That's what we're seeing.
But that's not an actual I'm dropping out. That could easily be a manipulate. Dude, the media manipulates this shite all the time.
Okay.
Here, you were talking about, a CIA plant in Professor Lee earlier. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying until Andrew Yang says it himself, I don't necessarily believe it, especially coming from
people.
Politico.
Then both these people are losing.
And PBS.
Both these people are losing their jobs running these headlines.
Show me a reputable website like FoxNews.com, and then I'll believe it.
Yeah, noted partisan hacks, PBS, the public broadcast. Dude, honestly, I don't think it's funny either, but this does seem to be the case, man. It's really crazy. I don't fully understand it. So far, this is the best thing we have is the idea that they just didn't. It's kind of sad. I hate to say it, but it did just kind of sound like a spirit got crossed where he's just like, I don't think we win anymore. It doesn't sound like New Hampshire vote. What happens if it gets 8% in New Hampshire tonight, right? And he's like, well, maybe I should have stayed in, but it's too late. I do think it was a little bit telling to me hearing him say in that Cuomo interview, if I had any crystal ball and I'd go back and talk about what a campaign different. It's like, dude, like I was talking before, New Hampshire's not going to be good if that's actually the thing.
Super chat.
Atomic Yang, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. MSM is truly powerful, able to sway the masses to their will. Yeah, I mean, we haven't even looked at the thing, but holy cow, this is, like I said, not what I expected at all. I definitely thought he'd at least see tonight's results. I thought he'd wait till Super Tuesday, but. Yeah, I'll see if I can grab the stream. But holy cow, yeah, let's see if we can grab the.
So we're gonna grab the stream here, guys, so you can check it out. Apparently, he is.
Like I said, here we go. I'll post the link so you guys can. I'll post the link so you guys can see it right there.
Dude, there's a lot of people here.
Individuals into voters. Yeah, at the same time, Leslie, as we continue to keep our eye on
we're
this
getting
event,
a lot of people saying, "Please, Americans, let's give the DNC what they deserve by voting Trump again in numerous numbers." Stephen Yeats says, "I say everyone vote for Trump to send a message to the DNC." Dude, I got to tell you, I think the mainstream media and the DNC need a lesson, man.
Okay, it looks like
Jay Watt notices the Padgett's crying right now.
Looks like he's still on stage. I'll keep this on. I'll keep this open, and so when Andrew comes on, we can hear what Andrew has to say. I'll keep this open in another tab so we can get a better idea of when he goes on stage. Like I said, if you want to go watch it over there, of course, go ahead and check out the stream. But
no way, stay here with us.
Wow, man. No. Wow, that is.
I did not at all expect this. I am shocked.
It is
like he could have dragged this out another month of fighting hardcore and seeing if something happened.
That's the problem. Is he thought he was dragging it out. I didn't think he was dragging it out anymore. I definitely thought. Here we go. Here we got the. I'll turn this on.
Andrew Yang for a specific reason. He used technology to his benefit.
I want to hear what the let's see what the mainstream media has to say.
But he's also somebody who raised the specter to say, in the last debate, you are focused on the problem, like on the symptoms, but
this is when the media listen to how the media talks about Yang. I guarantee.
What they're loving him now, right?
Not loving him, but I guarantee it's gonna be it's amazing what he did. Oh my God!
The ramifications
that man,
are really
what
impactful.
he accomplished.
Let's go ahead and
directed the focus.
Let's go ahead and listen and hear. Just take a moment as Andrew Yang
there's Steve Marchand from
his supporters.
Wow, this is. Oh no! Whoa, whoops! Sorry guys, I think we got yanked down. Yeah, there we go. No return to the mat.
Thank you so much for being here. And I want to give a special thank you to my rock my wife, Evelyn, who's been with us every step of the way. I love you and appreciate you so much, baby. Thank you so much.
Holy cow.
New Hampshire and everyone who supported this campaign, thank you for everything you've done to make this campaign possible over these past months. You all have uplifted me and inspired me and Evelyn in this campaign at every turn. Your passion and energy, your donations and hundreds of thousands of hours, calling, volunteering, your enthusiasm, dedication, and commitment. We've accomplished so much together. We have brought a message of humanity first and a vision of an economy and society that works for us and our families to millions of our fellow Americans.
This seemed too early, though. He's got to be getting a VP slot here.
I think
we went from a mailing list that started with just my Gmail contact list to receiving donations from over 400,000 people around the country and millions more who've supported this campaign. One of the things I'm most proud of, we gave $1,000 a month to 13 families around the country.
Oh, does that stop now? Dang it.
No,
including Jody Fancy right here in New Hampshire. We highlighted the real problems in our communities as our economy is being transformed before our eyes by technology and automation. And Americans know now that when you go to a factory in Michigan, you do not find wall-to-wall immigrants doing work. You find wall-to-wall robot arms and machines doing the work that people used to do.
No stump speech, bro.
Going into this,
no stump
we've
speech,
been critical
man.
of him doing the stump speech at all times. Going into the stump speech and be you. This is the best time to be honest.
Touch until we made it happen here with this campaign. Our signature proposal, universal basic income, has become part of the mainstream conversation.
Dude, everybody's saying voting for Trump.
We increased the popular support for universal basic income to 66% of Democrats. And 72% among voters 18 to 34.
So he knew about this. That's probably why he was emotional on the last debate stage.
Without a doubt, we accelerated the eradication of poverty in our society by years, even generations. And that is thanks to all of you who are here tonight.
Sean Antina says, congratulations to Trump voters who just secured 2020.
Though thousands of voters came out for our campaign tonight is not the outcome we fought so hard to achieve. It is bitterly disappointing for many of us, but it shouldn't be. Every single day I've been campaigning, I've had supporters say to me, your campaign helped me out of a depression. Thank you.
Jeez, I'm amazed at how many people in the chat.
Working on this campaign has made me a better person.
Bernie Sanders 2020.
I met my significant other because of you. Your campaign brought my family together. Your campaign got me excited about politics for the first time. These are all things that people have said to me in the past days, and they are the reasons why I am so incredibly proud of this campaign and what we've accomplished together. We have touched and improved millions of lives and moved this country we love so much in the right direction. And while there is great work left to be done, you know I am the math guy, and it is clear tonight from the numbers that we are not going to win this race. I am not someone who wants to accept donations and support in a race that we will not win. And so tonight I am announcing I am suspending my campaign for president.
We love you, Andrew!
Thank you, I love you too.
I wonder if there's people, everyone must have known in the building, right? Everyone must
Thank you so much. you so much, New
This is
Hampshire.
the last time you're going to hear that, man. I'm teary-eyed,
I love
dog.
you too.
It's like, could you imagine? It's like that's
This
fueled
is not
him. That's fueled him for
an easy
years.
decision or something I made lightly with the team. Endings are hard, and I've always had the intention to stay in this race until the very end. But I have been persuaded that the message of this campaign will not be strengthened by my staying in this race any longer.
You've been persuaded by whom?
Endings are hard, New Hampshire, but this is not an ending. This is a beginning.
The 2 Israels holding back tears, man. Let it out, bro. It's very rare to have a legit reason to cry.
Is just the starting line.
Boom.
This campaign has awakened
There was
something
hope in the
fundamental
DNC,
in this country and ourselves. This movement has outlasted over a dozen senators, governors, and members of Congress to become the most exciting force in this entire race. The Yang Gang has fundamentally shifted the direction of this country and transformed our politics, and we are only continuing to grow. I'd like to thank my incredible staff and the hundreds of people who left their lives and their jobs to join and build this campaign. I know what a risk that was. Very few people joined this campaign because they thought it was going to be a good career move. So thank you. Thank you to my team.
Hunter Lee gave us a super chat saying Yang Gang money is going PSP now.
My goal
hey, bro,
when I first started running was to solve the problems that got Donald Trump elected. In order to do that, I will support whoever is the Democratic nominee.
I think VP is an idea.
I was about to say it's going to happen.
That said, I hope this campaign can be a message and a word of caution and guidance to my Democratic colleagues that Donald Trump is not the cause of all of our problems.
Oh, wow, smart. I like that.
He is a symptom of a disease that has been building up in our communities for years. We must cure the disease that got him elected. And in order to do that, we must address the real problems that affect our people and offer solutions to actually solve them. I stand before you tonight and say that while we did not win this election, we are just getting started.
I do believe that. I don't think Gang's just going away. I don't think he just vanishes, right?
This is the beginning. This movement is the future of American politics. This movement is the future of the Democratic Party.
I do believe that. I didn't think he was right about that. This is the actual future.
Hit the super chat, bro.
Next time we pause on
Andrew Yang announcing that he is suspending his campaign. Let's take you now.
Aaron Day, $20, said he needs to keep the message going. We need to keep the message going. I'll see if I can pull up another Yang stream and get off this war.
Dude, but look at this. This is what's crazy is I mean, look at this. CZ Wan, Trump 2020, Michael Appel, Trump Train. I'm getting tons. I had no idea that so many people of the Yang Gang were Trump as a second choice here. I'm actually really curious.
Being your candidate has been the privilege of my life. Together we will continue to do the work and move this country forward because the Yang Gang isn't going anywhere.
Is that a repeat?
No, this is more. They cut away on TV.
Secret Salt Shake says, I bet that Biden is going to pick up Yang for VP.
In the meantime, though, thank you all. God bless you, and God bless you.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I mean, it is crazy to say. When we started the stream, when we started, an hour and 18 minutes ago, I did not think that Andrew Yang was going to be dropping out of the race. Then we got oh my God, a $50 super chat from Kev New, I believe. Thank you for all the hard work, guys. Yang 2024. Thank you very much, man. And I will say, I had seen floating around a couple days ago, I want to say going back to last Wednesday, articles suggesting Yang was talking behind the scenes saying, hey guys, maybe we should be looking at New Hampshire results this year for 2024. I did definitely feel the drop in kind of confidence and momentum, But holy cow, man! I mean, seeing him actually just announce it before the results.
Couple
came
more
in.
super chats too, bro. We got to catch up on super chats.
Cool, no, of course. I'm seeing one more down here from $5 super chat from Joe Hong saying, "Love you PSP and love you Andrew Yang." Thank you very much. Yeah,
there's also one from Master Swizzy, $10 super chat. Thank you, man. Overdue donation. You always have great opposing viewpoints. It's not about who's right. The conversation allows people to think for themselves. Keep up the great work. And there's another one from Aaron Day. He says he needs to keep the message going. We need to keep this message going. Hey, you're right, Aaron. You're right, Master Swizzy. You're right, Kev.
Here's something I've been wanting to say for a while.
Right,
but
Joe.
I was waiting for Andrew to finish. I know it's soon, but guys, keep your head in a swivel here because every campaign, trust me, they saw what the Yang Gang is. They saw what the Yang Gang did. A lot of these journalists and people, they know what the Yang Gang is and what they're capable of. That is going to be a very, because no flame, but like when Cory Booker dropped out, like, oh, you're gonna grab the Cory, like when the K Hive was bigger than any Cory Booker or Julian Castro supporters. No one cares about the K Hive, right? I think there are going to be people courting Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang. Yang hasn't made anything about announcements. He did say he will endorse the candidate, but I think he signed a piece of paper saying he has to. But it's interesting seeing if the VP is floating around. And then really quickly, Max Anishi, $5, maybe over, but will never support Bernie. Well, I mean, there's the thing. It kind of like, while tonight obviously is the end of sorts, right? I mean, Andrew Yang dropped out. I mean, we can do a little bit of post-mortem, I think, tomorrow, I think, we'll do a video. I was like post-mortem, but talking about everything that happened to get here. But moving forward in the immediate future, all the issues that were going on in the DNC, they continue. It's the same struggle, the same fight, and it's still going to be who is going to be the person who the DNC can save themselves from Bernie with, which is hilarious. Imagine if the DNC actually put their weight behind Bernie, how the momentum he would have. But I agree. I don't want to see him win. I don't think he'll beat Trump anyway, so it's kind of a moot point if he does win. But holy cow, this is but still keep you will see a lot of people trying to court the Yang Gang in the coming weeks and months, other candidates. Because just having a free online dominating presence is pretty awesome. Aaron Day, $25. Don't bother with the shout out. Just take my money and keep up the good work. Glad you engaged. Thank you very much. Sorry, man. Unfortunately, I'm gonna read it live on air before reading it ahead of
before
time.
I even know what it is. Yeah.
I'm like Ron Burgundy in that sense. So I would just be like, I am a big dumbhead. Like, whoops, my bad. But holy cow! I mean, it's one thing I want to say just for him. It has been so fun and so much fun hanging out with, just covering this thing from the beginning. I mean, I remember when me and Card went to our first Yang rally in Los Angeles, almost a year ago now. That was April 2019. Just contrasting that April 2019 rally to the August rally or the September rally, I believe it was, in Los Angeles. I mean, a lot of stuff did grow. I do feel kind of bad that, Dave Chappelle, all that stuff in South Carolina is not going to matter. He's not even going to be in the ballot there. He's not going to be running there anymore. But, here's I was like, Josu F. Cure. I pronounced it wrong. I apologize. $5 super chat. Great job, guys. Keep the UBI fight alive. Writing in Andrew Yang for primary in general anyways. But again, UBI is the also, I think, win Andrew Yang has had here. That we'll get to that in 1 second.
I mean, 66% of Democrats talking about UBI is huge. Even though Republicans had the idea first.
Oh, my God. Who cares? One more thing. Marcus Robert Johnson, $5 super chat. As a boxer, I'm mad because I fight till the end, but I understand. I'm still so mad.
That's why
y'all
I think
happy now. And I agree. I do think
a VP offering has to be on the table right now because there's no other reason why they would give up until at least Super Tuesday.
Hold on. You know what's funny? And you bring this up a lot, so I want to hear your opinion on this. You bring this up a lot. This idea that a VP, you think about, like, generally speaking, you'd bring in a VP to help you. Like, let's say you perform bad on the West Coast, so you get, like, a California governor as your VP, right?
Yeah.
Or you struggle in the Midwest, so you get, like, an Amy Klobuchar as your VP. What if the place you struggle at isn't a physical place, so to speak, but what if you struggle online? Who would be your VP if you need help on the internet?
Oh, dang.
I wonder if that's going to happen. If someone who has a good ground game, but they don't have that online game.
But see, now Biden already swore that he was going to choose a woman, but he's shrewd enough that I don't think he would care.
You think Bloomberg will put Gang as his VP? I don't.
Dude, I don't know, man. Well, what about like Klobuchar or something? Because the media's been pressing her and nobody takes her seriously as an authentic. I mean, she's a total boomer as it gets. She like literally raided Hillary Clinton's closet to steal all those pantsuits. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think it could be?
Yeah, and then really quickly, we have a $5 super chat from Huyings20. I apologize. I butchered that one. It said, what are you guys going to do now that his campaign is over?
Streamers do what streamers do. Tubers do what tubers do. We're going to keep making videos. Power to the people. We're going to give the Vox the ability to populi. You know what I'm saying?
We'll definitely keep covering the primary. Very interesting. And also, like I said, I don't think Andrew Yang is going to crawl into a hole and disappear. I think we'll definitely have Yang. I'm going to be covering Andrew Yang probably for the next while and his UBI movement and his UBI fight. But again, I think he'll be in the mix of the VP, and definitely I want to see what Bloomberg does. We'll keep covering the primary. It's just, wow. I mean, yeah, obviously the candidate, the story of the 2020 primary that got me and Cardin very interested in this is dropping out. It sucks, but many stories have arose since, and I don't think Yang is going away. Like I said, the win Yang has had in just making UBI, they asked a question about UBI in the debate stage multiple times. You think without Andrew Yang running that would ever happen? So he had some big wins. Really quickly, Derailed to the T, $2. Thank you very much, man. Trump breathing a sigh of relief tonight. He definitely loves seeing the disarray of the Democrats. And then Scarpo, $5 super chat. If it's either Sanders or whoever picks Yang as VP now, nobody else is going to get my vote. Sanders, Yang would absolutely kill it with voter turnout. Yeah, you know what? Yang would be, because another thing,
dude, that would be a killer progressive
I've been
combo,
saying for
man.
a while.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm saying for a while with Bernie, he has to sell people on how Bernie can get, not Republicans, but how can Bernie get the more center-right moderate voters, the up for grab voters, the voters who aren't I'm voting red no matter who or blue no matter who voters. How does he get anyone else? Because obviously you don't get the far right people, you got the far left people. How does he get the middle? Yang as VP is actually not a bad way to get that. And again, who could use the Yang gang? Imagine if the Bernie Bros and the Yang gang, like, what's that like? What's
Instead
that
of Bernie saying something stupid like, if you want to see Republicans come out and support the Democratic nominee, tell them they're going to get a $15 minimum wage.
They should vote for Steyer then.
You
right?
know?
Get
Yeah, it's like,
$22.
please. No, that's like literally telling, tell the African-American community no reparations and they don't deserve nothing. You know, like, come on. That's
what
not.
What if Tom
That's
Steyer?
not an attractive deal.
Yeah.
But if he brings Yang on, and Yang could actually talk him down from the ledge on some of his stupidest, most 1920s Bolshevik ideas. I mean, I don't want to see Bernie Sanders win the election. I don't. But I recognize if Bernie Sanders were to bring Yang on board, holy crap, that would be a powerful combo. It put me in a weird situation because then all of a sudden I'm opposing it. You know, I'm opposing Yang in an indirect way. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know if Bernie would want Yang
if
as
Yang
VP.
could talk some sense into him out of the federal jobs guarantee.
That's the problem. Ideologically, they have too many rivers between them, right? But just I want to get to it before I forget.
Okay.
Another one from Joe Hong, I believe. $5 super chat.
And
Keep
Nick
it up,
Caruso.
Problem Solver Politics. You guys are a huge piece of where I get my news from. # power to local journalists, ETZ. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it.
And Nick Caruso says, thanks to Yang, I got back into politics, and I got to know you two cool dudes.
And then also Sergio.
Yang 2024.
Sorry, I want to get that out. And then one more. Sergio Mikhail, $2 super chat. Bloomberg Yang ticket. Dude, we were talking about.
Oh, Bloomberg's my boy.
I would
if you're
rather
oligarch. You might as well.
I'd rather. I don't like Bernie Sanders. I'd rather Bernie Sanders be president than Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg terrifies me. $20 super chat from TD. I know I'm voting Trump. $2 from Temper Malice. It's funny to see burners being nice to Yang Gang now. Oh, you will see a lot of that, man. Bernie Bros are going to be like, oh, we've always loved the Yang Gang. And then another $2 super chat from, I believe, Quasi Asian. Bernie's policies scare me. Pete has no morals. Pete doesn't know anything. $5 from Eddie In. Go to stash my Yang Gang gear in a locked chest and live in the shadows. Until they hear the call again, 2020, 2024, 2064, I'll be waiting.
Oh, Eddie, that's the best super chat all day, brother. That's funny. Gonna stash my Yang gear in a locked chest and live in the shadows until I hear the call again. Dude, this is the Force, man. The Yang Gang is no different than the Jedi Force, dude. It's the call, baby. You know? And gosh, what a beautiful thing, man. This brings tears to my eyes, man. Because I gotta tell you, like me, man, I dug the Yang Gang because we were so different in a time of just crappy partisanship where, like, I'm losing family members over freaking having voted for Donald Trump.
Figuratively.
And no, see, yeah, they won't talk to me.
No, but they're still
I
with
got
us.
people that hate me. I got customers that literally fired me when they found out that I voted for Donald Trump.
Okay, well.
And in that world of hatred, I made a bunch of BA new friends, man. And, you know, it's just like, crap. That was because of Andrew Yang, and now it's ended, and I'm like, shite. Man.
Yeah, it's really weird to see him, especially before New Hampshire votes even end. To just about, we have $2 super chat from Silverfang. Trump would adopt UBI. Trump secretly Yang Gang. Tyler Robinson, $2. Much love for you guys. Much love, guys. Your show was my favorite commentary. Thank you very much, man. But I mean, it's Sorry, one second. I want to go to Twitter. We'll take a look at what's going on Twitter. But it is disappointing to see him bow out, I would say, so early. That really is. I would like to have seen him stay in a little bit longer just to see what he could have accomplished. But it did sound to me that the reasons he gave for why he dropped out really do sound to me discouraging. Like, that he was discouraged. I apologize, right? Like, dude, I was just going through my camera roll. I saw this picture. We will spare the nostalgia tour for until tomorrow. But I think, dude, I took that picture like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. That wasn't that long ago, right? And it's just crazy. I think that was a much different night for Andrew Yang than we see today. Nintendo Super Chat. Contrary to the Yang media blackout, Andrew Yang will get his mainstream media coverage he never got in the upcoming days. Thanks for the hard work, PSP. Love your content. I don't like I said, all of a sudden,
Benjamin Young,
media is going to be coming out saying, "Oh, Andrew Yang, what an amazing man he was. What a great campaign he ran. Oh, all the stuff he accomplished, all the stuff he did." Also, like I said, Bernie Sanders and the Bernie Bros, they're going to be like, "Andrew Yang, we love you guys. We never said anything bad about you guys."
Trump's put in a cabinet position for him, bro. That would be the ballsiest move ever. And if there were ever a president that's got the stones to pull it off, I could see Donald Trump as a populist president saying UBI was actually a good idea. Boom, let's talk it. I could see Donald Trump pulling it off. Anyway, we got 3 super chats. You got to rattle them off, baby.
I'll say $2 from Matthew Dominguez. Well, you can still bond with people over tacos. Thank you, man. $2 from Hazardous Katana. How are the polls? We're going to look at the results in a minute, too. And Sage Uber, $5. The only way I'll vote Trump is if the DNC nominates Bloomberg's. Otherwise, it's Bernie 2020. I'm assuming that's basically going to be the split we'll see. That's why we will see. I think one of the reasons why maybe Bernie wouldn't feel like he would need to tab Yang as VP is because there's going to be a lot of people who do go to Bernie from Yang. That's like obvious. Like I can see reasons why you wouldn't. Like I said, I'm a Yang supporter. Personally, not a big Bernie fan, but I can also see why you would be that order, right? Yang, then Bernie. So he might feel comfortable enough thinking that he could just siphon off the Yang gang without Yang as VP. But yeah, I want to pull up really quickly. I want to see where we actually are in the results coming in. So let's see. We currently have 17% reporting is the last number I have. And Andrew Yang is currently at 3% in the state. Also, we have another $10 super chat from Alex L. Thanks for all the coverage. PSP has been one of the best things that came out of an already amazing campaign. Well, thank you very much, man. I mean, I will definitely say that all the various things Andrew Yang has kind of brought into this, as he was saying in his speech, just all the stuff that happened, a lot of things happened because he ran for president. Like, it is definitely not this isn't a John Delaney, good riddance, no one cares. Andrew Yang really did accomplish a lot when he ran. I mean, Andrew Yang was literally nobody 2 years ago. Like he could have punched any journalist in the face and they wouldn't know who he was. Now he has a massive press gaggle. He's announcing that he's bowing out of the presidential race. I don't think anyone was dying to get a quote from Delaney when he dropped out. Aside from, no, you're running, John. So what are you going to do next, right? Like, people want to know when Yang's going to come on. People are going to be coveting Yang in moving forward. This is not every loss is the same. It's still not good to drop out, but it definitely was something he accomplished. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what I'm curious of. And you don't need to spam it in the chat, guys. I get that there a lot of people are saying who they're voting for, and I want that, but you only have to put it like once or twice. All right. Grom Brindle says, I'll be laughing if Yang breaks the double digits. That's true, man. I would have waited at least a day, even if I've done the math to see if you don't have a surge in New Hampshire that you don't understand. But anyway. I
mean, it's kind of like, though, sometimes in sports
this is what I want to know.
See similar. Okay, yeah.
Put in the chat. I did put an official pull up on our feed. So as soon as you're done watching the live stream, I don't want you to leave right now, obviously. But as soon as you're done watching the live stream, fill out our poll because I'd like to see the results of what are you going to do with your Yang Gang energy now. Right now, just put it in the chat. Okay, I want to know what you guys are going to do with your Yang Gang energy. Are you just going to disappear into the shadows and wait until you hear the call again in 2024? Are you going to vote Trump 2020, which seems like a lot of people are? Are you going to vote blue no matter who? Because you're just, boom, an anti-Trumper and blue no matter who? Or are you going to vote for somebody else? Okay, and if so, please describe who that person is you're going to vote. You only have to respond once. We don't need you to respond 20 times. Sorry.
I missed out on something.
And we got a Coastal Yang Gang super chat.
Yeah, but by the way, shout out, man. Thank you. New party, new effing party. It appears Elizabeth Warren also dropped out. Is that what am I reading that correctly?
Get out of town. Now, that's a beautiful thing. We went from ugly news to good news.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren's also out of the race, it looks like.
Get out of town.
Hold on. No, never mind. I take that back. She's not officially out. She's just out. That makes sense? Sorry. I was reading some preemptive demise tweets, but people are definitely expecting her out. But I believe Michael Bennett has officially dropped out.
Oh, she's way too prideful. No, that one was way too prideful.
But at a certain point, the longer you hang in, the worse it gets for you. I mean, she's polling with Biden. Like, it honestly feels like I don't know why Biden and Warren would stay in the race if they can't beat Amy Klobuchar, right? If they can't beat Amy, isn't Elizabeth Warren from the Northeast? I get it's not Vermont, but isn't she from the Northeast? Like, it's not a good one for her either. But
dude, I'm getting a lot of I'm not votings, man. I'm surprised with how many say I'm not voting. Now, hey, I got to tell you guys.
I'm not voting now. I was going to vote for Yang. Now he's not running. Now I'm not voting.
You got to vote for somebody, man.
I'll vote for me. I'll go write my.
Who do you want to be? Pete Buttigieg? Oh, come on.
I'll write myself.
You can't tell me you wouldn't go to the polls to vote for Donald Trump again if you knew it meant stopping
I didn't vote for Donald Trump in
Buttigieg.
2016 either. I'm not going to vote for either of these people. I wanted to vote for Andrew Yang because I believed in Andrew Yang. I wanted Andrew Yang to be president. I believed in him. I believed in his movement. I believed in his ideas. Yeah. He's out of the race now, dude. I don't believe in anyone else running. I don't really care who wins at this point. I really don't. Sucks, but I wanted Andrew Yang to win now. Hey, I hear you. I'm not saying everyone should feel that way, but yeah, I was an Andrew Yang supporter. He's out of the race. I'm not donating money to anyone else. I wanted them to win, so we'll have to live the next 4 years with whoever's president, unfortunately. But hey, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. Sometimes you have to have,
Puget Sound Company says F the DNC. They deserve Trump now. And man, I'm really amazed. I was amazed at how many people said not voting, and I was amazed at how many people said Trump 2020. I thought there was a lot more blue no matter who's out there. But hey, look, let me tell you, music to my ears to hear a lot of these people voting for Trump, because I think screw the DNC, those freaking creeps, dude.
I think that's been the through line of the Yang campaign, was that he attracted a lot of new voters. Like I said, I'm the kind of person, I very much identify as an independent voter. If I don't see anybody running I want to actually vote for, I don't. Not like, well, I have to support the party again every 4 years. I just owe it to them. I owe them anything, in my opinion. So I vote for candidates when they move me. Yang was moving me to vote. Now he's out. It's only unfortunate.
Okay, so we got
$2 super chat from JS Automation. I automate manufacturing for a living. RIP USA. I will say another win of Andrew Yang was Andrew Yang moving automation as an issue for the job market into the mainstream. I mean, a lot of people have been mentioning for the year now that Yang's really been running in earnest. That same thing of, you know what? Yang is right when he talks automation. Yang is right on this. I mean, I'm hoping all the things we've heard punditry say over and over and over again, Yang is right on X, Yang is right on Y. I'm hoping they remember that and we stay with that. But I mean, it's really interesting what he was able to accomplish. But I do think it was premature in pulling the plug. I do believe that.
At Gilly Squeeze makes up a good point. Vote for whoever earned your vote. I dig that. I feel you. Is it Gilly or Gilly Squeeze? I don't know. You got a cool username, but you got a cool head on your shoulders too. I really like that.
Hold on, nothing against voting. I might vote for. I'll look into voting for like local Congress, local Senate, Assembly, stuff like that. That's different. I'm talking president. Like the president is a national vote where realistically, it's not that your one vote doesn't count. It's just that you really need a lot of people to win a national election. So I would say if someone doesn't win you over big time nationally, but yeah, I do agree with the commentator. Look locally, man. Good stuff does happen locally. And $5 super chat from Steel the Warrior. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we also got another super chat from Delphi945. I said repeatedly, if not Yang, I'm writing my name. Hey, I feel you there.
I guess the name would be Andrew Yang. I was going to say Yang supporters, they all think of a name we write in, but I guess Andrew Yang would probably be the best name to write. Because I was saying that would be an interesting way to check how many people actually. I think it could be funny, though, to come up with a write-in name for just disaffected third-party people. Well, not third-party, but disaffected voters in general. Harambe, for example, and see how far we can get it.
Hey, Coastal Yang Gang nominates you, bro. They say Cody 2020 if he runs independent. Not kidding.
I would never run, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. You'd be a good president, though, bro. You'd get pissed off at everybody within less than a week of doing the job and then just, bring back the firing squad.
I would. If I was president, I probably would. Nah, I don't know if I'd fire people a lot. Anyway, $2 super chat from Joe Andrews. Super premature. I do think he pulled the trigger early. I think he should have at least hung around till the end of these first 4 states. $10 super chat. Right in Yang. Yang would surge if Biden and Warren dropped out, as he would soak up their supporters. Dropping out this early is a huge misstep for him. I agree. I agree. It was a misstep. Hung around for that. Yeah. And I don't like this.
That signals something else is going on. There's a reason why those articles dropped at exactly 5 o'clock. Well, they were pre-written, which means a deal had been made. Because if no deal had been made, he'd be sitting here thinking, "Dude, we got to see how the results happen."
It's an embargo. He probably decided he was going to drop out yesterday, and he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys this interview. Just don't publish till 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. And then they both published at 8 p.m. I don't think it was a conspiracy theory. I honestly think, I hate to say it, but looking at his performance in the last debate, looking at his just general body language, looking at the fact that even in his not resignation, but his speech where he announced he's suspending his campaign, he just fell back into the stump speech. It does seem like a little bit of momentum petered off and just the exhaustion of running. It looks like the whole thing caught up to him in the last 3-4 weeks. I've kind of seen that. And really, man, honestly, all that had to have changed over the last 10 days is just really the spirit and energy of Andrew Yang. I guarantee you, people have been telling him for months now to drop out for X or Y or Z reason. And he probably had the wherewithal to say, no, I believe in myself. And then for whatever reason, that belief got shaken. Dude, the reason why I'm saying that particularly, I'm reading stuff I'm reading stuff he was saying like, I don't want to take people's money and enthusiasm anymore if I don't believe I can win. It sounds like that's what happened. He believed he could win up until recently, and then he stopped believing it.
We got 2 super chats,
yeah,
and I got 2 other comments.
So Matthew Dominguez, $2. We Independents still have Vermin Supreme. He's still running. And then we have $20.
Vermin Supreme!
2024 from Jason Farrell. Hashtag right and Yang, then shelter in place under dictator Trump until Yang 2024. The singularity is nearer. And then $2 from Jeremy. Sanders gets 0.5 Yang. Tulsi and Warren voters win.
Dude, okay, so Jason Farrell, that's funny. Shelter in place under dictator Trump. Not a dictator. He is a representative, a democratically elected representative,
technically,
president of the United States
until
of
a
America.
third term, right? Until the third term, he couldn't.
Well,
be
the third
dictator.
term's going to be Ivanka, and it's going to be beautiful because
That's
we'll
worse. That's way worse.
We'll have better designed couches.
I would rather dictator Trump than Trump's family being president. Anyway, $2
No,
super
Dan
chat.
Crenshaw, 2024 for me.
Oh God, $2 super chat from Ultimate TH. I'm voting Mickey Mouse now. I would vote for Andrew Yang again in 2024. And then Gear Pro, $5. Plot twist: he got contacted by Bloomberg and was offered.
Dude,
a VP.
I'm telling you.
I do wonder, but here's the thing: I guarantee
I could believe that,
but I guarantee you, he has had the VP dangled in front of him like a carrot on a stick for a while from candidates, kind of saying, "Hey, you know, there's no VP decisions made yet. Maybe if you get out of the race before." I guarantee you, they've been hearing that. It's a way to just kind of shoulder you out, though. I think he was smart to not drop out because of it before then. But I guess I think he in his own words, he no longer thought he could win. So let's catch up on the super chats. $5 from Elected News. Met Yang last week. A thoughtful candidate with smart policies. One of my favorite parts of a political tourist trip to New Hampshire. Now, by all accounts, I mean, I've shoved the camera in Yang's face from a couple feet away from him at rallies a couple of times now, and he seems like a good guy by all accounts. Then I'm going to blow through these. $5 super chat from Jay Watt. I don't know if Yang would accept the VP position unless UBI was on the table, but the Dems do need the Republican vote, and Yang would help immensely. I agree on that. Quazen, do you guys think he should have taken PAC money? I hate Pete, but he's making quite a good case for super PAC money.
Yeah, it's part of the game. You got to.
He did take PAC money, but just the problem with Yang was he didn't have the establishment backers that Buttigieg
to be able to hit a
have.
PAC. Yeah.
So they weren't quite the same size. $5 super chat from Robert Smith. I heard he would have trouble paying his staff. Is there truth to that? If money problems, definitely could have been.
Yeah,
what ended the
that's
campaign.
usually what it boils down
And
to,
maybe
and
if
makes it so you ethically have to end it. Because if you're going to be a presidential candidate, by the time you hit Super Tuesday, you all of a sudden aren't just putting a bunch of money into Iowa and New Hampshire, and 3 or 4 of these early states. You're putting money now into 13 states that all require their statewide campaign director. They all require their staff. You literally have become a very large corporation that is gobbling up $1 million a week easily gobbling up $1 million a week. And if you get $20 million, you think, okay, I got 20 weeks of this in me of just keeping my boat afloat. So that's what it ultimately does end up boiling down to. Or else what are you going to do? Send people IOUs? That's the biggest campaign failure ever known to man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, unfortunately it does boil down a lot to money. And it probably had a little bit to do with why he was trying to push so hard for fundraising yesterday.
Well, I think missing those last couple of, you know what?
Seth Herr says, I'm voting for Kobe, by the way. Not a bad vote, Seth.
I want to get to that one, too. I'll write in Kobe. But no, I do think that is kind of the point, too, when we talk about what was the significance of missing those fundraising goals. Paying for staff, man. It's one thing if maybe we can't run as many commercials as we had planned on originally. I can't pay my staff another entirely. Let's get to one super chats. Michael I am, I believe. Someone picked up UBI and VP Yang 100%. Yeah, I think that's a good move. $2 super chat. This is the only gang I've ever been in. Unfair. I hear you, man. $5 from Palm Sun to quote China Uncensored. Trump is a Persistator, Kaga 2020 getting a Trump straw, LOL. Andrew Yang in Arabic, €2 super chat. Thank you very much. You guys helped push UBI forward and change history. Yeah, that is what the Yang campaign did, man. They definitely pushed UBI to the forefront. $2 super chat from Jeremy. VP offer from top 6 candidates left. HMMM stack deck. I definitely think people are dangling it in front of them still. $2 super chat from Sergio. Mikhail, big duck move. Trump snatches up Yang. If Trump were to start courting, here's the thing. I think Yang is contractually bound to support a Democrat in 2020. I do believe he technically would be breach of contract if he supported Trump or worked with the Trump campaign at all. I think, right? I think he signed that.
Okay.
Look, I think in order to run, the Democrats make you sign a contract.
Well, they all signed
saying
an
you
agreement.
won't run third party or basically if you
yeah,
lose,
but it's
you won't
unenforceable.
work against us.
It's completely unenforceable.
Well, they could sue you.
Because remember how they wanted Donald Trump and all the other people to sign that as well?
Yeah, they could sue you technically.
You'd
be in breach of contract. You signed a contract saying you wouldn't do a thing, and you did the thing.
No, but it's like non-compete agreements in California. They're unenforceable, and it's mostly political theater. For example, the Republicans did that in 2016. They made everybody on the debate stage sign that agreement, not because they were worried about Jeb Bush. It was because they worried about Donald Trump pulling a third-party run if he didn't get the nomination and then just tanking the party.
It's not just a Trump thing. Parties in general do this because
it's only as of late when they're strong characters.
One second.
They didn't do it in 2012.
Is this a bad ask? Is this an unreasonable ask to say, hey, if you're going to run to be our nominee for president, we're just going to ask if things don't work out well for you.
I don't think it's a bad
ask. Don't turn around and spite us and blame us and run against. All we're saying is, if you want to be our nominee, just commit to the party for this one cycle. I don't love it, but I don't think it's crazy. I want to get super chat. $5 from Jay Watt. If the nominee gets Yang as VP and jointly announces UBI, would Cody for the Dem candidate? Would I vote for the Dem candidate? Depends on who it was. If it was Bloomberg, no. Honestly, you know who I probably would do it for, but I don't think he would do it. If somehow it was like
John Delaney,
Steyer Yang, I might look at Steyer Yang 2020. But honestly, right now with who I think feasibly can win the ticket, I just don't see myself voting for Bernie. Maybe with Yang as VP, but even that, I just don't see myself voting for him. I wouldn't be picketing against him or campaigning against Bernie. I just don't see myself voting for him necessarily. So I don't really know, man. Like I said, I was really pumped to have Yang as a voice moving forward and, at least being the nominee at the very least, if not winning the whole thing.
Can we look at some of the stats now we've been talking about?
I had him up the whole time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you just, I'll show him again. I just wanted to quickly go and see what else is going on with, just on Twitter. I wanted to get a better idea of what's going on with Andrew Yang. Because that's one of the sad things too, is that Andrew Yang is going to be trending like crazy on Twitter right now because everyone's going to be talking about him, and it's like, wow, finally people are. It's like what I was saying when John Delaney dropped out.
Who?
Finally he got credit, but it's because he had to drop out to get it. Hey, Martin Luther King III. Andrew Yang ran a strong presidential campaign and raised critical issues on the debate stage. He'll have a lasting impact. Shout out to Martin Luther King III.
Man, that's what I gotta say, dude. I mean, I'm looking at this, bro, and. My heart breaks. It legit breaks. This was such a good thing, man. The Yang Gang. We're getting some hilarious comments in here. The guy was like, yeah, the Yang Gang's the only gang I've ever been in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, if you just look at how UBI is viewed nationally, that's a victory, man.
So the DNC media blacked him out, and the DNC toasted him, screwed him in Iowa. And now what are Democrats left with? What? An 80-year-old socialist screaming from the rooftops about capitalism? A guy who can't remember where he is and has to turn around and fake that he's not putting his dentures back in?
Billionaire Bloomberg.
Or the psycho librarian that literally says transgender, black, gypsy women and violinists are the backbone of our society or whatever is politically palatable at the time and hip and cool. Like Buttigieg, he'd sell his mother if he knew it was going to get him 10,000 votes.
Does Buttigieg have a family?
Well, he's got to have a mother. He was born.
Well, most human beings do, but do you think Buttigieg does?
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, what
was that TV show where they find the guy on the side of the road and he has no belly button? Does that be Buttigieg? He didn't exist until they decided they're going to groom him for a presidential run?
It's like what?
Because I've never heard of it. He has very little identity. He basically didn't exist. No.
And we got to pick up on super chat.
I'm sorry, enough clown on the Buttigieg. Sorry, I was just trying to catch up on Twitter to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
Okay, you want me to go through the super chats? We got Chauncey
I got
on.
It right here. I got it. Chauncey on $5. Endorse Biden. Biden pick Yang as VP. Possible. At this point, I would say don't take the VP spot. I think Biden's going downhill. And then VTran, $5 just got here. Can you guys talk about the show post-elections? Any plans?
Hey, we're going to keep pumping videos out every single day. Election news, pop culture news, politics
Yang
news.
isn't just going away either. I think there will be Yang news. But yeah, we'll definitely we'll change our focus. But still covering 2020. I have my eye big time on this Bloomberg nonsense. I want to see what happens with it. I think Bloomberg getting the nomination would be a travesty. See if that happens. And then just like I said, I don't think Yang's going away. I do think Yang might actually end up as a VP for someone. I really do. I don't know who. I don't know when. I don't think Bernie. I don't know if it'd be Bloomberg. So maybe he won't. But I just have this feeling that Andrew Yang is not going to be going away. I really don't think this is going to be one of those people who just. I don't think it's going to be like a. Kamala Harris, where it's just like, and she's gone. I mean, I've heard nothing of Kamala since she dropped out for the most part. And she was even, I believe she was serving for part of the impeachment, right? Isn't she in the...
Who?
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, totally.
I'm having a brain meltdown. She's a senator, right?
Well, yeah, if you're a senator,
I want to say she's a congressperson. She isn't. So my point being is, like, even with that going on, I barely heard Kamala Harris brought up. Like, Yang's kept his name in the headlines. He's going to be in the headlines still. I don't think he's just going to vanish. But, man, this is a crazy... I especially because let's take a look at the vote again. Okay, I mean, as I say that, Tom Steyer passes Andrew Yang. So, I mean, if he does hit 4% and 5% in New Hampshire, though, I will say if he dropped out tomorrow morning after getting 4% in New Hampshire, I wouldn't be shocked. So, it did feel early. Then we have a couple super chats here. $5 from Marcus Robert Johnson. Thank you very much, man. Should Yang build his foundation and run as independent in 2020 or return as a Dem? If he's returning, definitely as a Dem. And then JWatt, $2. Yang or no Yang, Cardin and Cody. Oh, thank you very much, man. But I definitely believe that Yang, similar to Bernie, right? I mean, Bernie, I think, is still a independent as far as he claims to be. Like, same with Bernie. Like, you have to run as Democrat again. You can't run as an independent and be nominated president. This is my conspiracy theory. I'm pretty sure the Republicans and Democrats would team up in a heartbeat to eliminate an actual surging third party. They want there to be 2 seats at this table, not a third. So they'll keep you out. So I think that's the reason why you have to kind of bite the bullet and go with them.
I don't know. I don't think so.
From Ultimate TH.
Republicans are principled.
Oh my God, whatever, man. Spare me. I want data for how many Dems turn Republican now. I would like to see some data on how many people are basically just removed from the voter pool that were Yang supporters or just like, I'm not voting.
Well, and a lot of people in chat have been saying that, dude, I registered Dem. I'm going back to Republican.
Well, that is true. Yeah,
I registered Dem for Yang. And I mean, that's a compelling argument. You know what I'm saying? And
there's no way. If Steyer drops out before South Carolina, I will have a cow. I will be so mad at him. You're a billionaire, dude. You might get double digits in South Carolina. Like that's a victory to. I don't know. So I'd be double surprised if he dropped out. Yang. Well, it's one of the reasons why someone asked, "Can Yang run again?" It's one of the reasons why you suspend your campaign because it's just suspended. Theoretically, yeah, he could resume his campaign. And then Marcus Robert Johnson, $2. Why deficit? I guess not definitely as a Democrat. I would just say that if he had you have to kind of.
Tucker says Steyer just dropped out.
He really did? That is crazy. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up right now.
I want to confirm this. Let me fact check this in real time.
I think Yang would run as a Dem because he's already ran as a Dem in the past. He's established himself as a Democrat. It's a harder sell to have ran in the last cycle as Democrat. Now I'm running as Republican. It kind of makes you look a little wishy-washy. That's one reason why I say he kind of has to now. Like seriously, it's like, well, Mr. Yang, you were literally running from a different party 4 years ago. Like what's going on? It just is a weird look, in my opinion, at least. Tom's son too. Steyer is that? Why would Tom? I'm mad at Tom Steyer. I'm more mad at Tom Steyer and Andrew Yang. Tom Steyer's pulling a 15% in South Carolina. He drops out before he even gets there. He's a billionaire. He's the money problems. Again, don't quit. Andrew Yang. I don't think Andrew Yang quit. I think Andrew Yang ran his campaign to its logical conclusion. I think Tom Steyer quit.
Yeah.
If he did drop out, you know what's funny? Funny. This is supposed to be what happened in Iowa caucus night. It's one of the reasons why I would not be... By the end of the night, a lot of names are going to drop out of this race. If Yang dropped out, a lot of people are going to drop out. This was supposed to happen in Iowa. But it was such a mess. You couldn't really trust the results. But now you can. And now we're seeing people dropping out. Wow, very sad. Very sad.
Dude. So I'm looking it up on CNN right now. Tom Steyer.
See what Twitter has to say. Oh, no. According to David Weigel, those are false. Like I said, Tom Steyer dropping out before South Carolina would be dumbfounding. He's polling at double digits in the state. I don't know why he'd drop out before he gets to flex his muscles. Like I said, Yang dropping out before the New Hampshire votes are final makes a little bit more sense
Especially
to me.
before South Carolina, where he was doing so well.
No, exactly. Well, it makes more sense to me for Yang only because, one, if there was legitimate money issues, we've talked about this before. Andrew Yang isn't a billionaire. Money issues would catch up to him. But two, as I was talking about earlier, he went all in on Iowa. All in. 20 days out of 23, he was in a bus on the ground in the state and had nothing to show for him. I mean, like, it's not a matter of...
You talking about Yang?
Yeah. So I'm saying for Yang is... That is what makes it so much different for him and why I think I can see him dropping out here is because it seems to me like that Iowa result stung, man. That's why he drops out before the results are even from New Hampshire. Iowa stung. He knew he put everything in, and he's like, look, if I throw everything I have at a state and I get 1% of the state the SDEs and like not even close to a national delegate, and I'm at 5% in the popular vote, and that's everything I have, maybe I don't have more in me. Now, I disagree that a little bit. I think the strategy was bad more than the candidate was, but maybe it was just that was too expensive a lesson to learn, right? He might just be out of money. There's no feasible way to ramp up to, like you said,
it's a math argument.
13 state, and guess who has no problem with that? Michael Bloomberg, right?
Yeah.
But I love is Bloomberg actually trying to report the Tom Steyer? I'm telling you, I will be flaming Tom Steyer for the rest of his life if he dropped out before he had a chance to get his 10% in South Carolina. Dude, you're a billionaire who ran I don't want to call it a vanity campaign, but he definitely ran a what would happen if I ran for president campaign. I mean, the reason why I say that compared to Yang, he has been like, no way is this real life. Hold on. If Andrew Yang immediately went to an anime avatar, that is... No, okay, I didn't think so. That would have been something else. He hasn't tweeted since. Yang hasn't tweeted since the. You know what's crazy, man? Isn't it crazy? Some of you guys in chat, a lot of you guys would have been here, but when that tweet right there, I am so proud of this campaign. Thank you to everyone who got us here. I remember reading that before news broke that Yang was going to suspend his campaign, and I remember reading that and going, "Wow, depending on the outcome of the results tonight." That could be, hey, wow, we've gained momentum. I'm so proud of this. Or it could be him kind of saying this is the end. Little did we know that literally was him saying this is the end way back then. So, wow, man, that is... It is weird, the timing. Like, it's not like the results came out and they were bad. It was like he waited for the results to start coming out and then just announced it. Okay, cool, I'm done. I'm out of here. It was a little bit... I kind of... I do a lot of sports analogies. Like I said, I kind of see it in sports when guys start making like the get me the hell out of here plays where they're just kind of like, dude, I don't even care if something bad happens. I'm done. We lost. I want to go home. It would be, I don't know, kind of sad to see. And then we have $5 super chat from Scapo. Yang needs to fix his non-Twitter social media game in 2024. I founded multi-million subscriber channels and offered help on YouTube, radio silence. Well, first of all, congratulations, man. That's awesome. And I will agree, that was a massive misstep for Andrew Yang. A lot of, and anecdotally, you're not the only one, man. I've heard of a lot of people saying they've reached out and tried to help, doing other things, but just various expertise they have trying to lend it to the campaign. And we had heard of campaign chaos forever. Just it's the problem any business has when it grows too fast. You have people that you would have never in a million years hired today that are in, executive roles because back then nobody wanted to work for you. And he hit that point. But there's going to be talk about why he didn't wait for the results to come out before he did it first for a while. Maybe, I think the reason is the media cycle. He just wanted to get ahead of it, perhaps, right?
I think that could be.
Like, he didn't want to wait and have the results come out and, drop out now regardless of how I finish. Maybe the narrative will be, despite strong finish, Yang dropped. But, I mean, and I have to say, we're at 29% reporting. It's not full, but it still doesn't look like that surprise is there for Yang either.
Yeah, man. Jeez. Oh. Still says, I'm so proud of this campaign. Thank you to everyone who got us here. Jeez, man. It's weird. I got to tell you, bro, I'm heartbroken, man. Just honestly, I'm heartbroken. Because I think in the back of...
Remember, obviously,
I think in the back of our
still
minds...
with us.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, in the back of our minds, I think a lot of us knew
even before Iowa, that crap, these polls aren't that great, but he's going to have to pull off something in Iowa. And then the debacle in Iowa happened, which basically just shifted whatever kind of pressure was meant to have been released in Iowa onto New Hampshire. And we were thinking that New Hampshire was the new Iowa. I think I even said that in one of our new, in one of our latest videos.
Yeah, our last video was about that. Our New Hampshire's the next kind of sifting point. I mean, we're seeing it, right? People are dropping.
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing it. And so I think a lot of people, not knew, because you never knew, but a lot of us knew that, okay, most likely Andrew Yang's going to get railroaded by the DNC because he's not an insider. He's not their boy. You know what I'm saying? But we thought it would last longer. So we were unprepared for such a chocante, as we say in Spanish, such a jarring, conclusion that was relatively unexpected. I think most people thought that we're going to see how well he does in the early states, and then by Super Tuesday, he'll choose. And, similar to somebody who has a loved one who's sick, and we know that it's terminal, but we're expecting him to be around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden we find out that they're not. It hits you. And I'm heartbroken over the Yang Gang because I don't see anything remotely close to it, Cody.
To what?
That's what...
The Yang Gang?
The Yang Gang.
Well, no, there really isn't anything like it.
Yeah, because
it's
if you're a Warren fan, you're a rich white elitist that thinks everybody's below him. But you're saving the world's poor people and you're bearing the white man's burden, as Rudyard Kipling called it. But no, all in the name of tolerance and non-racism.
One second, I want to address one thing.
Poor white people are the racist ones, not rich white people.
Okay, one second. I want to address really quickly. Tom Steyer's not dropped out. This is a tweet from, I posted the wrong one. Give me 1 second. But Tom Steyer has not dropped out. Here we go. This is from Kevin Cate, who is I believe, a advisor and a ad maker. He works for the Tom Steyer campaign, who is saying that the tweet actually has been deleted. He said that Tom Steyer did not drop out and asked them to remove the post, which they did. This was in response to someone saying Yang dropped out. So as far as I know right now, Tom Steyer, like I said, Tom Steyer's best state's coming up in like a month, and he's a billionaire. He's not going to have the Andrew Yang logistical money problems that I think he might have ran up into a little bit. Laying off a bunch of staff, obviously Iowa made sense, but other places, fundraising goals not being hit. It sounds like he legitimately might be hitting some money issues. Steyer's not going to have it. South Carolina's coming up. Tom Steyer has hit 18% in South Carolina polls. He ain't dropping out. So just want to get that out there and kind of clear up that confusion. Tom Steyer is not dropping out. Like I said, I would be legitimately angry at Tom Steyer if he dropped out before he had a chance to actually run. And remember, the way Yang went all in Iowa, Steyer kind of has in South Carolina. Keep that in mind. Like, if Steyer gets 5% in South Carolina, I would demand him to drop out. I wouldn't expect it. Andrew Yang performing so poorly in Iowa after investing everything, I could see why. Still surprised he did, but I could see why, right?
Yeah, man. So, I know where we're gonna go, man. You know what I'm saying? I know we're gonna keep making videos, and we're gonna keep, trolling liars in the primaries.
The primary doesn't end. Bloomberg's still coming in. Well, I want to show you this. Sorry, this is something I want you to look at. I think this is kind of crap, but check this out. According to a Morning Consult national poll, the second choice for Yang supporters is 35% Sanders, 12% Bloomberg. Do you really think that?
No, this is such a crappy poll. We've noticed just in our stream, Paget streams, and Zach and Matt stream is probably where a majority of the bell curve of online Andrew Yang gangers are. Okay? And the Yang gangs either saying we're dropping out or we're voting Trump.
Yeah, I haven't heard one person say, well, obviously this is...
I heard one person say Bernie Sanders, and I'm sure there's a lot more than that.
I've heard plenty Bernie's.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, of recent in our chat. The only people I haven't seen a single person say, "Oh, I'm voting Bloomberg."
Neither have I.
Definitely more than Warren. Oh, come on, that's garbage. What garbage?
Hey, Morning Consult also is a very favorable poll to Bloomberg in general. Keep that in mind. Just want to show that. $5 super chat from Shahad Rahawi. Thank you for helping us think critically. Yang Gang. Yeah, honestly, anyone who's been a part of the Yang Gang on it, it's hard to think of now, but holy cow, I think every one of us is going to look back in 5 years and be like, that was really a cool movement. And then a $10 super chat to Blue Regards. Even if Bernie picks up Yang as VP, there's no way I'll vote for Bernie. Have you guys seen the Project Veritas videos on Bernie's campaign?
Yeah.
It scares the heck out of me.
They literally want to put us up against the wall and shoot us.
I always wonder how much...
That's what they want to do.
But I always wonder how much of that is the kind of
The fringe.
The weirdos that are like working for the campaign, and how much of that is the campaign going
yeah,
like,
but here's the difference.
Guys,
the right-wing weirdos,
we're definitely going to do this. And they're like, shut up, just get to work.
When
and
you
then,
find the weirdos in the Trump campaign, you find a bunch of like ANCAP libertarians that just want to be able to live in a field somewhere, you know what I'm saying, with their guns and their tanks, you know, where they can't even see the smokestack of another human being. And that's the difference. Is when you get into the most libertarian circles, which is probably the most right that you can get in America, all right? When you get into the far libertarian reaches where they're just all about local and states' rights and the federal government has only one job and that's having the military. When you get in the most right-leaning quarters of the world, not the world, but I should say of America, you get isolationism. Not, I want to go into town and grab the people that I don't agree with, put them up against the wall, and then go Fidel Castro on them. That is the fundamental difference between the left and right in America.
Whatever, sure.
Come on.
We have the noble, innocent cherubs fluttering around us, willing to bestow upon us their mighty charities, and then the evil. No, dude, I wonder how much of it's random bozos. I will say this, though. Bernie not coming out and saying,
if Andrew Yang would have run as a Republican, the RNC would not have treated him the way the DNC did, and the media would not have treated him the way the media did.
I mean, it's hard to say, though, because it's time-specific, right? How do we know? If they did to Ron Paul, why wouldn't they have treated Andrew like Ron Paul? Like, where's the proof he wouldn't have got the Ron Paul treatment?
Ron Paul was treated better by the media, I think, than Andrew Yang.
No, he wasn't.
Similarly,
Ron Paul was Ron Paul because he didn't have quite the Ron Paul is. I don't want to say he wasn't a fighter, but he didn't have that. They made him look like a fool, and it was kind of wrong what they did to him. But we have a $5 super chat from Marcus Robert Johnson. Again, thank you very much, man. So can I please get some sort of assurance or theory why he didn't wait for the results? It makes me feel like he quit, and it is driving me crazy. Like I said, my theory,
that's
man,
a great way of putting it. Yeah, that's the way I thought, and that's
agree,
my theory for the VP slot.
My theory is this, is that with the fundraising slowing down and so much, not only of his time, but money getting invested into Iowa, I think without a surge of fundraising after Iowa, he just realized it was untenable. The campaign couldn't keep going. And even if he got 50% in New Hampshire, he probably would have had to drop out anyway. I think was kind of like, and they have internal polling. They know. They probably said, look, man, our internal number says 7% is like the dream. We might end up with 4%. And he's like, look, I'm not going to get $5 million in the back of 4% in New Hampshire. And money talks, man, because like Cardin brought up earlier, which is a great point. If he were to continue this to Super Tuesday, all of a sudden you need 13 campaign staffs. You need it becomes untenable without that boost of money coming in. And I mean, really, man, remember, just think about it. Just yesterday, he wanted to raise $2 million before today, and he got like 1.1, 1.2.
Tarka Jedi says it was over when Yang spinelessly didn't raise his hands against socialism. Do you think that's true?
I think it was over. Not over. I think one of the more missteps definitely was Yang backing down to MSNBC. In general, I think it was over when he invested so heavily in Iowa the way he did. I think if he had said, I'm going to spend $15 million on a single delegate, and I'm going to have my campaign basically located in a rural county, and we're going to bombard the place, maybe that would have helped. But in general, man, he had an uphill battle, and he couldn't afford any mistakes. It's kind of like, to get back to some antiquity here, it's kind of like when a Hannibal was marching around and messing with the Romans. He basically couldn't lose. He didn't. He was really good. But if he had lost one little battle, it was it. He would have been out. He had to go back the ocean to Africa just because he wasn't going to get any resupply. No one cared. No one was going to help him. It's kind of what Yang was like. He had to win. He could not lose. Iowa was an actual loss. The 20 days and the 10, 15 million to get nothing, and then the fundraising dries up after that. There's no way back. And then Semper Malice $2 says, I feel cheated out of my latest donation. I mean, Yang spoke to that sentiment when he was suspending his campaign as well. He said that same thing where he didn't want to keep taking money from people without legitimately now thinking he could win, which in one point's commendable, but another point's like, I mean, I do agree. Once you mentally no longer feel, again, I'm like you with the analogies today, but it's same thing with like UFC fighters and boxers. Once you lose that will to go into the ring and fight against somebody, you're done. And I think the same thing was the presidential campaign. Once you lose that thing in the back of your head of we could actually win this, it's over. Because stuff like that, you feel like you're lying to people when you're taking their money. You feel like you're cheating to people, and I could see why he felt like he had to drop out. But it sucks it got to that point. I don't think it had to be now, but I do agree. If the fundraising wasn't coming and he wasn't going to do great in New Hampshire, I mean, when you start looking at things analytically, what would come up is like, yeah, you might have to drop out, man. If we're not going to be able to afford our Nevada campaign, you know, like, what do you do? Ask people to work for free when you don't even think you can win? You can't do that. So it's all that's left. It's sad, but you know, it is what it is, right? It's kind of like, it's like I said, it is what happens when you run a campaign that's such an uphill battle and it is so difficult that you can't slip up and make a mistake. Well, he slipped up and he made the mistake in Iowa, and this is what happens.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
Because we see him right now, live results at 2.9% with 33% reporting.
And I mean, he's Tulsi Gabbard's doing better than him. How is that possible?
Well, Tulsi, what Yang did in Iowa, Tulsi did in New Hampshire. Tulsi's been campaigning in New Hampshire for like 70 straight days.
Yeah, I mean, I know she's been campaigning there heavily, but you'd think that, I mean,
that's the only state she's been campaigning in.
She hasn't been on 3 debate stages now.
Okay, but
you would think that after not having hit the measurable quantifiers enough to get on the debate stage, that she would have done better. But then again, I mean, Andrew Yang never interjected on those debates. He didn't get a lot of positive coverage out of him. His mic was off.
Andrew Yang also spent the last 30 days not campaigning in New Hampshire.
And in Iowa, I get that. What was it? What was our final stat when we did that video? It was like 23 of the past 30 days.
He spent a chunk. He spent 20 of 23 days because he went. I think even more. It would be weird, but there was a point where it was like he ended one of his bus tours. He went. I forgot where. He went somewhere for a day. He came back and then did 17 straight days up until the primary or the caucus. The caucus being a disaster. I honestly think they might have been thinking about if the caucus results came in on Iowa that night clean. They might have been thinking about this before the debate, but I think with the results being muddy, they couldn't. Because I agree, guys. Like the notion of him dropping out before he got this final tally tonight, because he dropped out like 4 hours before the tally came out. Like, it's not like he dropped out like, the vote's in a couple days. Like, he dropped out right now. And how about this?
Yeah, we got a super chat
Devlin
here.
Duck Hodges. Oh, Ducky Hodges. If only Yang was a billionaire, huh? Hashtag Yang. I agree, man. Like I said, this is why Tom Steyer can get 2% if he wants to in New Hampshire, because he's doing well in South Carolina, and just drag the campaign out because he's got the money to afford it, man.
Yeah, you got to get rich in this country
helps.
or die trying, baby. You got to get rich or die trying. That's one thing 50 Cent had right, brother. You got to get rich or die trying.
Yeah, no, sorry. That was at
it's like, I believe in America and I believe in the American dream, but I get that lane is getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner for people that really want to skyrocket to the top. And gosh, this is a tough one for me, man. This is a tough one for me. I'm taking it hard, dude. Taking it hard. Got to admit.
Like, yeah, dude. Like I said, I legitimately no longer have anyone. There's no longer anybody running for president I want to support. It really sucks, man. I honestly thought Andrew Yang was going to pull off a couple upsets. I honestly did. Now, one thing I will say about politics, we never know. So the fact that what was on paper more than likely going to happen sucks. But I don't know. It does suck, but I did truthfully believe he had a chance of shocking people. Not by like getting 25% and winning New Hampshire and Iowa, but I thought he could have got like one national delegate in Iowa. People have been like, who is this guy? Maybe 9%, 10% in New Hampshire. But yeah, if he hits 3% in New Hampshire, drops out of the race, like, yeah, that's tough, man. That is really, really, really tough. And it's not the end of the Yang Gang, but it's the end of a stage of the Yang Gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, really.
Man.
I mean, I've been rocking Yang since the Pink Hats, going back to,
dude, you and I used to go to these events.
Early March. Dude, we went to his first rally in L.A. Most people there were only there because they're like, I think I've heard of the guy before. I wanted to kind of check him out and see what he's about. We went to the second rally in L.A., and thousands of people there to see him speak. It was, a lot changed in just a few months.
Yeah, man. Dang it. So I'm still not understanding why this calculated dropout so soon. Even if it were based on New Hampshire results, I think you would have to wait until the New Hampshire results at least came in. So I think there's something else going on here.
I think he was
It's gotta
dropping
be a VP nomination.
No, I think he decided to drop out before the results. Like I said, he could have got 97% in New Hampshire and probably would have dropped out anyway. They said there was no path forward. It didn't matter what happened tonight. And I agree.
Well, at least wait a 24-hour news cycle. He could afford a 24-hour news cycle to see if that didn't all of a sudden give him a bunch of donations to launch him forward.
He didn't want that, though. That was exactly the point. He's like, I don't want any more donations. I don't want any more people out there volunteering and supporting for me. I am done. And I think ultimately when a campaign is suspended, that's when the candidate says, I am done. I am finished. I no longer believe in this. And stringing the campaign on an extra minute once you no longer believe in yourself, I do agree is dishonest and just bad. You shouldn't be doing it.
So apparently,
if he did hit that point, it is the honest thing to do. Once you no longer fully believe in yourself, you do have to back out.
I get it, and I have respect for him if that is indeed the case. Apparently, Yang is trending #1 right now, claims some people in the chat. I'd appreciate if you could verify that. That'd be interesting.
Positive,
and this is what I want to know from the chat, all right? This is what I want to know from the chat, all right? How long have you been in the Yang gang? Like, at what point did you jump on the Yang train? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Yang 2024 is currently trending #2 in the United States, right behind New Hampshire primary 2020.
Wow, okay. So I'd be curious, just how many original Yang gangsters we got here from back in the pink hat days. You know, how many people just jumped on with Joe Rogan, so on and so forth. Just how long you've been in the Yang gang. Tyler Robinson says, I agree with Cardin. Something else is going on. I got to tell you, it feels like something else is going on, but I would be heartbroken if it weren't. And if it were just a plain old, I realized we didn't have the numbers there. Oh my gosh, my heart would just break even harder if it could. Anyway, getting a lot of answers here. March 2019, July 2019, February 2019, INTP female. She actually got in pretty much when we got in. It was
Rogan.
in February of 2019, yeah.
Post Rogan. Check this out, by the way. Yang did just tweet. He pinned a tweet saying, I stand before you today and say that while we did not win this election, we are just getting started. This is the beginning. Yang just tweeted this a few minutes ago.
Oh.
I do agree. He's not going away. We're going to be hearing about Andrew Yang. We're going to be hearing from Andrew Yang.
But this was unique, man. This was Woodstock, 1969.
Oh, my God, please.
People going to talk about this for generations to come, man.
Cool. I do think, like I said,
this was the badass thing.
Yeah, we went to a couple. We didn't make it to Yangapalooza, but like I said, I think that rally he had in Los Angeles, the one with MC Jen and a bunch of other people, that was a really cool rally, a really big event, as well as some of the stuff we attended in Vegas with them. That was some really cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff happened with this campaign. They've done a lot. Like I said, UBI is something people talk about now because Andrew Yang ran for president in 2020. Philip Hahn said, will you be covering the Libertarian candidates? Honestly, this might free us up some time to finally get that Zoltan interview in.
Oh, yeah, dude, for real.
We've been doing it for a while. One more, sorry. Marcus Robert Johnson, $2. Been Yang Gang since February 2019. There we go, man. Around that Rogan time. To this day, literally remember the first time I ever saw Andrew Yang spoke. I mean, I get it was a year ago, but a lot of stuff happens. I remember I was doing laundry, and I heard a Joe Rogan video autoplayed, and I heard him talking about basically human-centered capitalism, right? The idea of life expectancies going down, suicides going up, drug overdose going up, and just hearing someone who wanted to run for president talk about like real life issues that weren't like these weird abstract concepts or slogans, I was like, holy cow, man, this is. And from that moment on, I literally never stopped looking into Andrew Yang, and we are today. $5 super chat from Ducky Hodges.
This is a great question.
Who would be your absolutely not presidential choice if Yang was VP? Mine, Warren, never Bernie, Yang Gang since May 19. Oh, easy, Bloomberg. I would actively protest against Michael Bloomberg presidency. I would never in a million years. I would actually be upset with Andrew Yang for accepting a VP slot for Bloomberg. I can't stand Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg is the worst kind of politician in my mind.
Oh, he's so ugly to me that it's almost beautiful.
Yeah. And then Samuel54 says, August 2019, I'll remember this campaign. So, I mean, this was something big. But you say that card. Michael Bloomberg is like the nightmare of a candidate. Is the authoritarian disaster nightmare.
So we might as well, but like now I like the fact that our oligarchs are just out in the open buying elections and proving that the DNC will take the money.
Hey, when he's sending you to the
the RNC didn't. You can say whatever right-wing SJW
I don't think of
want.
everything as this I do not live
I'm answering a super chat.
I don't live in the eternal holy war you live in, where everything is the battle between the Democrats and Republicans. No,
all right.
That's not what I'm going through. Anyway,
it's all right.
Broadsea $2, taking shots out of the Yang shot class tonight. Hey, anyone got the double shot, the longer than long shots? Hey, not a bad night to break those out. I know. I don't think I'll have to probably grab
so Devlin Hodges, I'm answering my half of that super chat. Who would you be your absolutely not presidential choice if Yang was VP? Dude, Bernie Sanders, I would say no, only because we already have a populist. I actually don't fear Bernie Sanders' presidency too much because none of his ideas could get passed through because they're required by Congress. But it would be nice to have somebody that's talking populism a little bit. But we already have a populist president in Donald Trump that I view as more competent anyway. So I would say Bernie wouldn't interest me. Biden actually maybe just because maybe that electability argument would work. But no, I'd rather have Trump just, thumping things because I don't know, man. I can't really see anybody that interests me. But like Yang's the only guy that interests me on the list.
And I would say honestly, Trump winning in 2020 would open up the 2024 door for Yang more than anyone else.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Because that would open it up where it's there'll be no incumbent anymore. The incumbent advantage is just massive because it's do you want things to change? That's the question. So I think 2024, if, the pathway back for Yang, because I honestly think he is going to run in 2024 again. He talked about it. I don't see why he wouldn't, depending on the next 3 years, right? Maybe he starts a business, it's successful. He decides, I'm done. But, dude, he outlasted, for example, I wouldn't be surprised if Kirsten Gillibrand didn't run again in 2024. I wouldn't be surprised if Cory Booker didn't run again in 2024. But Andrew Yang trended up basically till the week he flatlined and dropped out. That's a different thing, right? And then a couple
we
super
got
chats
two super chats, yeah.
Jay Watt, $2. Should they put a cap on self-funding like $5 million? I don't know, man. That is tricky. And then $2 super chat from Tyler Robinson. I agree, Cody. Bloomberg will get nom. I can't buy it. Michael Bloomberg is you could say anything you want. I don't care if you hate Trump, you say what you want about him. You hate people on the far left. Michael Bloomberg is the only person who would legitimately be sending people with guns to your house to take your children by force. That is Michael Bloomberg. Say what you want about anyone else, they're not going to actually do that. Michael Bloomberg would actually do that. So I agree. That's the only person. And then getting back to the other question, I thought interesting. Should they put a cap on self-funding? What do you think, Carden? Really quickly with me, I think no. But
yeah, I thought no as well. But I can see why a good-hearted person might be interested in that because you'd be wanting to defend the republic against oligarchs, right? The only problem is then you get into the classic argument of Citizens United, which is why part of this whole Yang journey has been so beautiful because we had a chance to actually talk about these deeply philosophical things, such as democracy dollars being able to offset the negative impacts of Citizens United. And there are really good arguments on both sides of Citizens United. Anybody that tells you otherwise is lying. Any Republican who says Citizens United is a great example of free speech, they're heartless people, okay? And any Democrat that tells you, Citizens United is just a Republican, rich person bowed over, they're lying to your face as well. Citizens United is one of those just deeply difficult philosophical things. Should a man be able to invest as much of his money as he wants in his free political speech? I think yes. If my dying wish as a millionaire were to stop some abortion bill that made it so you could, kill babies after they were born, like Ralph Northam actually thought, I want the ability and the right as a human being to spend my last drop of blood and dime in my bank account fighting that evil. Okay. At the same time, you don't want to see just the purchase of elections. You don't want to see that. And money talks and BS walks, and money's talking harder and harder and harder and harder in American politics. So I see a need to get money out of politics, but you can't do it in a way that strips people of their civil rights. Okay, that's why we got to find these middle grounds. And I liked Andrew Yang's middle ground of democracy dollars. That was a cool idea.
I have a question for you. Remember earlier when I said that the Bernie Sanders campaign is definitely going to be having an eye on the Andrew Yang campaign? Because they definitely know Andrew Yang supporters' second choice tends to be Bernie. Well, and shout out, I'll look you up. Shout out to the person in the chat room who pointed this out to me. Oh my God, sorry, one second. I have this awful nonsense thing called Facebook on my front of my face. But look at what Bernie Sanders posts on Facebook. New York Times article about Andrew Yang ending his presidential campaign, saying, "Thank you, Andrew Yang, for running an issue-focused campaign and working to bring new voters into the political process. I look forward to working together to defeat the corruption."
Don't stop. That was good. Don't stop. That was good.
That's too. I lost it. But do you think Bernie Sanders is trying to court some of the Yang gang over? And the thing is, he don't have to work to get a good percentage. There's a lot of people on our chat have already said a lot of people will just vote Bernie now because he was their second choice in the beginning. And some people will be like, I'm not going to love it, but I guess I'll support him. And he knows that is definitely a good support base for him. And dude, anecdotally, if the Bernie Bros and the Yang Gang combine their power, so that's what Bernie Sanders is thinking.
But could they? Could nitrogen go with glycerin without exploding?
I don't think it's
you
that
shake
far
an
apart.
old TNT stick and it'll take your hand off, man.
I don't think it's that far apart. I think we're pretty close. But $5 super chat from Foresight 2020. In December, a robot truck hauled 400,000 pounds of butter from California all the way to Chris Christie's New Jersey home. Yang, I told you so 2024. I do think we are going to be living under a lot of what Yang predicted in the next 4 years. I do think like Yang's going to have a couple, not victory laps, but a couple I told you so moments coming up in the next few. I definitely think that.
Freddie Gonzalez says that he needs to run as a Republican next time. Whoo, it's a strong
like I said,
argument.
He has to make up and explain to people. Seriously,
he'll just say I was misled.
My first question would be, so why should I trust you now?
That's true.
You were
That's
wrong.
true. That's
you ran
true.
as a Democrat way back 4 years ago.
Hey, well, look,
man.
Bloomberg's doing it. He just needs to make a bunch
Tell
of
you what,
money
yeah,
from
make
Superbucks.
$50 billion. Yeah, make $50 billion and then come back.
No,
and
we
be
just need to
president.
see how much Bloomberg needed to spend in order to buy the election, and then he only needs to fundraise that. We'll help him out.
I mean, I will say, you know what? I might do no flame to Bernie Bros, but I might dig up some of the things Bernie Sanders supporters have been saying about Andrew Yang and his campaign over the last few months. Because, dude, I got to admit, we'll see. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm going to be interested to see one of the big-time Bernie people, what they say about Yang now that he dropped out, and what they say about the Yang Gang. Now it's an active base of voters online. I wonder if all of the, Yanks just drop out, these idiots don't understand. I wonder what the tune's going to be now that they need them, or if they want their help. Anyway, JFB, $2. What's next for Problem Solver Politics? I mean, 2020 primary keeps going, and I don't think Yang is just going to ride off into the sunset. So in the short term, obviously, I think just what's in front of us.
I got to tell you, I'm going to go through some stages of grief, dude. I'm honest, man. I'm going through some stages of grief. That's what I'll be doing tonight, probably into tomorrow. And, I had that feeling when Mitt Romney lost to when Mitt Romney lost to, before he was Pierre Delecto and a loser. Boom. I worked hard.
So, get out of here, man. That's such crap nonsense.
How is that crap nonsense?
Yang is literally...
That's not crap nonsense.
Okay, whatever. But Yang's literally... Now you hate the guy, so there we go. Yang's literally the only candidate I've ever donated money to in my entire life. So trust me, dude. I'm very sad to see him go as well.
So Jay Watt says, I'm so disheartened I don't think I'm going to vote. No.
I'm not going to
feel
vote.
that way now, dude. Enjoy this gift you've been given the ability to vote.
Okay, yeah, exactly. But
well, look, I'm not going to tell you right across from me, knowing how bullheaded you get on air, that you're wrong. But I'll tell a guy that's like 3,000 miles away that he's.
Dude. Don't let any of these people convince you that your vote is owed to them. It isn't. Vote for
no, it's not owed. But I'm saying it's a beautiful thing that our founding fathers created.
Okay,
this ability for us to opine and help
also
dictate our futures.
Hey, vote for your local representatives. Just you don't have to vote for president. $2 super chat from Derailed to the T. Yang's best move. Start a podcast / YouTube channel. It would keep him in that political rhetorical discussion.
That's
for
true.
The next few
That's
years.
a good idea.
I like that. And then $2 super chat Tyler Robinson, the Forward Party. Like I said, any third party will just get double teamed and crushed by the Democrats and the Republicans because they don't want anyone else at the table. Only them. They will put aside their differences real quick when it comes to them losing power. So,
hey man, so I want to know how y'all gonna be coping with this tonight, man. Chat it up, baby. Tell me in the chat what you're gonna be doing to cope with this loss, man. Because I gotta tell you, it hit me hard. I haven't felt this bad since Mitt Romney lost to Obama. I sat there and I played Amazing Grace on the piano like 20 times straight until my mother-in-law said, "Stop that! You're making me depressed now." You know what I'm saying? And I don't even like Amazing Grace that much, but there was just sheet music for it on the piano. And dude, this is tough, man. This is tough. We're gonna keep going though. I mean, we're gonna keep making our videos. We got to make the Sphinx video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like it looks like someone said, look at what Kyle Klinsky said. It looks like he said pretty. I will say when I was talking before, Kyle Klinsky never stood out to me as someone who was overtly an anti-Yang dude. He was definitely a Bernie supporter. He definitely was mean. He definitely was dismissive to Yang, but he isn't who I was thinking of. He wasn't one of those people who was saying that the Yang gang is a bunch of idiots and stuff. Anyways, what he had to say. I would disagree. A lot of it's been covered, been positive, but for the most part, like I said, he didn't come to mind as one of those very big time Bernie types who was just like, how dare you think you could run? I mean, those are the people that really are frustrating me. There were these types of people that were like, how dare Yang think he could win? Like, what are you talking about? But I will say, Yang dropping out like this doesn't help his case, right? But it is what it is.
Dude, I'm getting a lot of weed and beer. I'm getting some funny answers here, though. One guy's going to be hitting his guitar, rum and coke, just crying all night. One guy said, I'm going to be wiping my tears. I'm going to be wiping my tears with $1,000 I don't have. Joyce Abella says, my Mormon friend cried over Mitt Romney losing. No, I cried because Mitt Romney would have been a better president. We needed his ideas more those 4 years until it ruined him in his sense of thought and broke him, and he couldn't get over it, so he became a never-Trumper. Anyway, K-Boss. Kubler-Ross type of night. Oh, I don't know what that means, but it looks really cool and cultured. Could you tell me what that means, Cody?
What was it? Sorry,
that must be a type of alcohol. Kubler-Ross type of night. Is that like really expensive alcohol?
I literally can't see it. I'll have to pull up how it's spelled.
Okay.
Dude, I wish I need to get a drink.
Yang becomes New York mayor. Start large UBI trial. Dude,
Well,
that
also,
would be epic.
What happens if this? What if Bloomberg's elected president? If Bloomberg's elected president, he's got to become mayor of New York. You have to come from New York City in order to be elected president now. We've anointed that as the king-making capital. If we go Trump straight into... If we go Trump straight into...
Dude, Carlos Herrera literally says, I'm drinking and turning my math hat into a MAGA hat. Dude, man, I'm feeling you, Carlos. Mi amigo Carlos, por favor, decime que hablas español, porque te siento, amigo.
I guess, right, but if you want to really...
man.
If you want to really... The Yang... Hold on one second. I'll pull up the...
Ayo Byron says he's punching holes in his wall while you're pulling that up, dude.
Oh, my God. One second.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of marijuana here. So a lot of people are going to be, saying marijuana. Somebody said I'm destroying my Democrat card. You know what? Send me a picture of that. That's beautiful. Trump 2020 Yang 24 says Mr. Plix. And Dream Operator says I'm going to spray paint Yang for life everywhere. Oh! I feel you. I'd be right there with you, man. I'd be right there with you. Except we make a cool, like, artsy stencil out of it. You know what I'm saying? Got some super chats here. Can I read off the super chats, Cody?
By all means.
Okay, GNRCAZN, gonna call in for work and grieve for our loss. That's true, man. I'd give you the day off. J. Watt, should have clarified Cardin. I'm gonna vote. It's the fire that excited me to become the first-time 30-year-old voter is hurting. Oh, man, I feel you, man. J. Watt, I feel you. I'm with you, Cardin. I'm gonna be grieving with you these next few days, man. Dude, I could cry right now, man. I'm not lying. Let me see. Jordan Shook. Kind of drives me nuts now. All the mainstream media will cover him now that he's dropped out. Oh, yeah, and they're going to say all these nice things about him and all that other BS.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're full of crap.
Yeah, now there's no longer a threat to anyone. What was that one Kanye West song? Like, all of a sudden you're going to see up in the front of the store. They're going to be like, look at this guy. Anyway, with $3 super chat from Lei Vang. Thumbs up to you as well, my friend. Nice little bird right there. And then did you get to the Jordan Shook? No. Yes, you did. That was one. Sorry. Because I agree, same thing, man. They're gonna be speaking of Andrew Yang as, oh, this gentleman from New York, how he beat the odds and how we held him down every step of the way and belittled him and made fun of him and distracted people from him and left him off graphics and told us lies about him. Oh, don't forget that. Just remember that we say he's good now. Dude, I can't stand these people. David Valdez, $20. I'm a Republican supporting Yang. I switched parties, received my California ballot. Outside of Tulsi, this group of candidates are a bunch of bums. $20 for Cardin's grief, and for him to speak more Spanish, I need a laugh after crying. Thank you very much, man.
¿Qué quiere que le diga, señor? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. What should I say? What do you want me to say, Kodo? Hey, this is how Bernie Sanders would speak in Spanish if he spoke in Spanish.
That's what I want to hear.
Hola, damas y caballeros. Los millonarios y los billonarios están arruinando el sistema. Todo el sistema no funciona por ti. Hay que ponerles contra la pared y dispararles. Como nuestro amigo Fidel. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I just said, Cody?
Something Fidel.
Yeah, I said the millionaires and the billionaires are destroying the system. We need to put them up against the wall and shoot them, just like our friend Fidel. No, our comrade Fidel.
Okay, definitely do not endorse violence. Solve politics.
I'm just saying, if Bernie Sanders could speak in Spanish, I'm pretty sure that's what he'd say.
Okay,
you know.
See, I think Bernie.
Uncle Perez gave us $1. I'm pretty sure.
I think Bernie's one of those guys who likes to. He wants to make his cool street cred communist friends think, oh, yeah, we're going to. But in reality, dude, Bernie Sanders, who's going to be guillotining the rich, couldn't even have one of his surrogates say mean things about Joe Biden. So, yeah, I'm sure the guy who can't stand up to Hillary Clinton is going to be dragging Jeff Bezos down in front of the Capitol lawn, dropping his head off. Yeah, I mean, it's not the kind of guy Bernie is. I think he wants to play that kind of edgy, but he doesn't have that edge.
Hey, so Sly Cactus just asked, can you say, you know what I'm saying in Spanish?
Yeah, you should.
¿Entendés lo que te digo? ¿Entendés lo que te digo? Or else you could say, ¿me entendés? That's another way of saying it. ¿Me entendés? Or ¿te das cuenta? ¿Te das cuenta? You know what I'm saying? So that'd be pretty awesome. BLA Delg says, Cardin, más español. All right. We can do more español, man. So anyway, Voltix says, I'm ordering my MAGA hat right now. Ahora pido mi. You would say gorra. This is like a gorra.
I definitely think to that
gorra MAGA.
To that point, it does highlight what a missed opportunity this was for Democrats to actually expand the tent. They always talk about, we need a big tent, right?
Yeah.
If they had just not treated Yang, if they didn't Sun Yang every step of the way and treat him like garbage, maybe they wouldn't have lost all these voters he was trying to bring into the party. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, how many people were like, you know what, if Yang runs the Democrat, I don't like all these Democrats, but maybe there's some. How many of those people are now like, forget this party. They could barely handle Iowa. They ran Andrew Yang up. They diminished him every step of the way. They treated him like a bum and a clown. Like, why should I do anything for these people? So anyway, $2 super chat from Carby Ramirez. Gonna throw some pebbles at Iowa and New Hampshire folk, and then
we do not endorse violence, Carby.
I believe that is also Euro. Just lost 2 months of UBI equivalent due to the bet. I just lost Tulsi. Just went all in with the rest of her end night speech. We should join Aloha Gang. Tulsi just went all in with her. Yeah, but I do believe Tulsi is. I don't know, man.
Tulsi's got a good heart,
but
man.
I feel so bad for Tulsi. Because, and again, another reason why
the DNC's ruined her life.
Another reason why I don't think Bernie's dragging the riches out of their house to guillotine them. He won't even stand up for his friend Tulsi, who gave up her career to defend him. He'll never stand up for her. People come after Tulsi. I mean, of course, Bernie won't stand up for himself, but he won't say a word for Tulsi. That's what makes me mad. It's one thing if you won't stand up for yourself, but it's another thing to like, dude, Tulsi gave up everything because she believed in you and was so mad about how the DNC was treating Bernie. And in response, dude, especially in the last year or two, he has given Tulsi a stiff arm and just said, no help, no nothing. $2 super chat from Azrael. Start videos on other categories, problems, etc. We probably will. I mean, we'll probably naturally find a progression for, short term. We'll keep talking 2020. I definitely am keeping my eye on Bloomberg. I'm afraid of what's coming with that. But, we'll
Hey, George Canado says, Cody, try some Spanish.
Oh, no, I can't.
Dog, you just got to say. You just got to say. You just got to say. Estoy triste.
What does that mean?
That just means I'm sad. Oh, you could just say
Estoy triste? I can't.
Estoy triste.
Estoy triste? I can't say it.
O me duele. Me duele el corazón.
Dude, I don't think I told
that means like my heart breaks. Like me duele el corazón.
I tried to learn
my heart
language,
hurts.
and I tried to learn French in high school.
Me rompiste.
I remember weird things about the language. I can't speak, and I'm bad at it. I don't know.
Okay, so we got 3 more super chats. I'm going to hit them really fast. Start a video on other categories, problems, etc. Yes, we're going to keep on keeping on with all of our video content. Stay here. We're still going to be doing all the latest election news. Dems just lost ADOS again. Again, Trump wins, says Jeremy. ADOS movement, that's interesting. HH says, make a red math hat. I'd buy it instantly. Dude, a MAGA/math merch hat.
No, it would be interesting.
Because there's a lot of... you know what? Dude, we got to make a hey, everybody, and you know what I'm saying shirt. But, dude, would a red MAGA/math hat, like MAGA math, that would be kind of sick, dog. And I think there's a lot of people out there, if we saw each other at rallies, would be like, all right, dude, I feel you. Like, I know that you're a principled individual who's willing to truly cross party lines. Like, I feel you, man. Well, I want to know in the chat, would a red MAGA math hat?
No, I don't like that already.
You don't like that?
Because the MAGA hat only was. I like.
No, if it just said MAGA.
No.
And math on it.
No, that'd be ugly. I would like the. I think.
No, like the side could say MAGA and the other side could say math.
That is what like 80-year-old veterans wear because they were in like 15 regiments. No, I do think though if you're just gonna talk about like. Essentially, this hat, but in red and red with the white instead of blue with the white. I definitely could see that, man. I think that would be interesting because it would speak to a certain individual, right? The former Trump supporter who supported Yang. But you get too loud, you get too much into it. Like the MAGA hat itself isn't exactly a cool hat. It's just the one he uses. So I think just borrowing the red. But even then, man, I think borrowing the red would be the way to go. I mean, that I think would look clean. Just basically a red math hat. I think that would look clean.
So Carby Ramirez says, get some beers. I'm pouring out for Yang. Yep, fallen soldier, man. You gotta show respect for the fallen. And Yang was K-Boss. Thank you for the super chat. It says Yang was Morpheus giving us the red pill. Woke forever. Man, to a certain extent, that's true. Although I wouldn't necessarily call it the red pill. I would call it the humanity first pill. The HF pill. Right? Kind of. But a lot of his policies were red pilling. I mean, let's be honest. You know what I'm
really?
saying?
Like I said, for the most part.
Oh, come on. UBI is like the ultimate red pill, dude.
No, it isn't. It's just a capitalist economic
You mean the
tool,
thing
really.
that Richard Nixon and a Republican House of Representatives passed?
I guess if I was you, and my entire life revolved around this never-ending holy war between the American Republicans and the American Democrats.
No, it is the holy against the unholy.
I guess I understand what you're
Thou
saying.
cretin!
But no, UBI, it exists as a way to kickstart an economy when it needs to be kickstarted. That's basically the way I understand it. That's how they all talk about it. Like, look, once you get to a point like we're seeing right now, where there's going to be too much power shifted and concentrated through, how do we make it so all of the gains don't end up in someone's investment account? Well, just use taxes to get the money circulating.
Dude, R. Mendoza has a great comment here, Cody, and I think you would agree with this. Tell me what you think. With Yang dropped out, I think he meant to write dropping out, watching the election is like watching the Titanic when you know the outcome in the end. The movie Titanic is actually wildly boring in one sense. We all know exactly what's going to happen before the movie starts. So now, literally, he's kind of right. The election 2020 is basically the Titanic.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a landslide for Donald Trump.
I don't know that, though.
You don't know that. Look, the number one problem that Democrats have is turnout. They're not generating turnout. In order to win, they need to turn out higher in enthusiasm than Barack Obama had. Okay? We're not going to get 2008 enthusiasm over Pete Buttigieg. Are we going to get 2008 enthusiasm out of Elizabeth Warren? No. If they have moderate turnout, which they're not even expecting that, he'll win an electoral and a popular vote victory. And if we have low turnout, which is what we're going to have if you get Elizabeth Warren, it's what we're going to have if we get Klobuchar, it's what we're going to have if we get anybody besides Bernie. And to a certain extent, I actually think you'd have very low turnout with Bernie, because Bernie in 2016 got some really horrible turnout, even in places like California and some states where they thought he was going to crush it. He had lower turnout. Okay? So there's no one on stage. UBI, I thought, was going to make people enthusiastic enough that maybe it would become a competition. But it's not. It's not. And, maybe Donald Trump's right. I'm tired of winning. Well, like I said, somebody's got to challenge him like Sir Lancelot,
Exactly. What we're looking at here, though, I don't think Donald Trump's doing so much great he'll be impossible to beat. It's just, there's nothing coming from the Democrats to do anything right now. Today, as we said today, I would agree. It looks bad for them to win an election, but we'll see what happens about them. If I was putting money down today, yes, with the disarray, with the disarray I'm seeing from the Democratic ticket, honestly, I would vote incumbent, right? Like, I don't even care who it is. Incumbent probably wins to what's going on with the Democrats. That, however, isn't a rule and a law to continue. There is a chance somehow, but I do agree. Bernie already ran once and he didn't win. I don't see how Bernie's going to suddenly rejuvenate people now. There is a lot of legit issue with the party. Like I said, the money would be on Trump just basically due to him being the incumbent and the opponents just struggling. Like, I don't see how they overcome the incumbency advantage with what we're seeing. But things could change a lot in 6 months, man. I mean, maybe not quite no, I think around this time, we were having the same conversations about the Republican Party in 2016. We were saying, this party is going to collapse. Once they lose here, it'll be the end. They'll have to get rid of everyone.
No, just this individual party
for 20, 40 years. But it's everything we're saying about the Democrats today. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but a lot can change quickly if you find, like I said, man, it's the same thing with NFL franchise. You would be amazed how much longer coaches have their jobs, how much less money you're spending in random positions when you have a quarterback. So if the Democrats can find that individual who is going to guide and steer the party on their offense through this campaign, a lot can change. But I agree. At the moment, incumbent will beat whatever they're fielding. 100%.
Yeah, Dankalodium says something pretty similar to you. Says, I'll go for Tulsi, but if she drops, I'll definitely go for Trump. I'd vote for Trump above everybody but Tulsi. There's just so few people left that people really, at least that I think are rational and in the know and understand how policy trickles down into real life. You can't take so much of what Bernie says seriously. He's promised so many freebies. The math just... The math shows he would create $23 trillion worth of national debt just in his first 4 years if he were to enact the policies that he says he can executive order.
Well, I also think with another one of the reasons why, though, with someone like Yang dropping out, it does get easier for someone like Trump to win. Is I thought Yang maybe would have been that guy. Like, it's going to take a massive surging movement, and people keep saying Bernie is that movement, but dude, this is the same. This is the leftovers from the movement. I mean, as we're saying that Bernie's clearly winning New Hampshire, but again, New Hampshire's a state he has to win, and we're at 51% reporting, but he can't lose New Hampshire. If he loses New Hampshire, that's right, like, so he's going to win the state. But I'm just saying, I was thinking maybe Yang could have been that guy. He obviously wasn't it. What's scaring me, though, is I think there might be a world where someone comes as a whirlwind and kind of rallies the troops. I guess I don't see how it could be Bloomberg. It might be out of touch. It's just it is a weird spot for the Democratic Party, man. I mean, the way they treated
Twitter.
Yeah, but the way they treated the outsiders in this election. They gave up their chance to bring people in, man. They had a chance.
And they also destroyed their credibility of saying we want to expand this tent, that we're a broad coalition. They are losing demographics left and right.
Did you want to see the Pete Buttigieg Yang tweet?
Well, yeah, I just saw a bunch of people in the chat say go to Pete Buttigieg's Twitter, so I wanted to see what was up.
Okay, he also said I'd tweet about Andrew Yang. I mean, a lot of candidates have. Bernie Sanders put one out, so we'll take a look at Buttigieg as well.
Okay, cool.
So Pete had to say, Andrew Yang started out unknown, but went on to make a big impact for this campaign built on preparing for America's future. Andrew, we will miss you and the Yang gang on the trail, but I can't wait to work together to help prepare America for the challenges ahead. One thing I'll say as well, you'll notice a lot of these people when they're talking about Andrew Yang when he dropped out, it isn't like when John Delaney dropped out and people are just kind of like, whatever. A lot of Bernie Sanders a lot of people that are like front runners in this race are coming out and trying to, hey, Andrew, we go way back. We always been friends. How about you throw some of that Yang gang support my way? We're going to be seeing this disgusting play from everyone in the race and then over the next couple weeks, for sure.
Boom. So, you know what, guys? We're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. Brokenhearted in these last 10 minutes. Hit us up with the last super chats that you got. Hit us up with any final questions you got. Tell us how you're going to be grieving tonight. Let us know. Keep us in the loop. Let me see. Jay Watt, did you already answer? I wonder how Yang would have done if Republicans could vote in the Dem primary.
No, I missed that one. So thank you for Jay Watt, $5 super chat. I mean, I don't think it would have changed too much.
Oh, I think it would have changed a ton, man.
I don't, because dude, why? I don't see if I'm going to.
What do you mean you don't see? If I'm looking at one of those, man.
Okay, but dude, I'm just saying I don't see enough registered Republicans showing up to vote in a Democratic primary to change anything. Yes, there literally would have been people who did it. Would it have been 14% of the electorate? No, right? Like, he needed more help than that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so Mika Williams says, I'm a 40-year-old white woman who has always voted Dem, and they've lost my trust. Trump is too awful for me to vote for him. That's the only reason I'll vote blue. Hey, change your media consumption, and you'll start changing differently, thinking differently about
people
Trump.
People are allowed to not think what you think, man.
No, I'm just saying.
I know it's a conspiracy.
I just say, this is what I tell everybody.
It's a global
conspiracy. Stop it, Cody, and quit putting words in my mouth, man. It's what I tell everybody. If you think you got a hatred for somebody, just change your media consumption where people are feeding you their talking points instead of the opposition's talking points, and you'd be surprised how much your opinion changes.
Yes, talking points. I love them, dude. Please. I need the good ones.
Stop it.
Avoid the bad talking points, but listen to mine. They're good. I agree.
No, that's not mine. I was just saying, if you change your media consumption.
Drinking tonight. Hey, I hear you, man. I'll be drinking tonight as well.
Yeah, so
I don't know what
the Kool-Aid.
I'll probably be drinking. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
I'm not drinking any Kool-Aid.
I don't drink any Kool-Aid.
I'm the guy that has an Andrew Yang podcast.
I'm gonna be drinking I don't. I forgot I don't. Anyway,
yeah, but but if you said I just drank the Kool-Aid, I wouldn't have done it because I would have just been red or dead, right?
Okay, whatever.
Anyway. Hey, we got to know them. Patrick 2020.
Yeah, Patrick. Oh, I did. We should write in Patrick. It should be a Patrick Star 2020. I do a Patrick Star. And I don't know. We're probably gonna wind down here next few minutes. Shocking night, obviously. I was gonna hang around for the end of the results for New Hampshire, but these numbers look more or less what they're gonna be for Yang. And I mean, Yang dropped. There's not a whole lot more to keep going on tonight. We'll definitely having a video ready early tomorrow morning talking about what happened. It's a crazy night tonight, but yeah, definitely going to be hitting them Bud Light seltzers for the next few hours, dude. Just kind of reminiscing, going through my phone, going through my my hard drives, and just looking at it. It was, because it really was a it was a great time hanging out with the Yang Gang campaign. We're all, like I said, the channel's going to just continue again tomorrow, same as always, just without Yang in the race. It'll be weird because this channel didn't exist before Yang, so it's going to be weird what we do after, but I don't know. I'm not really concerned by it. Just interesting, you know? I mean, our first video was literally about Andrew Yang.
Yeah. I mean, this really, the first word that comes to my mind is dynasty. This is kind of like the end of a dynasty. There's been 3 political figures that have deeply, deeply affected me positively. First was Ivanka Trump, when she said, my dad comes from a world where you're not a builder unless you have a building to show for it, which is what inspired me to do the radio show, which is how I met you, bro. Hey, whether you like it or not, I was inspired by that comment, and I thought, I can't be a radio host unless I actually have a radio show. So I begged, borrowed, and stole my way into the KHTS studio, which is how I met you, brother. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And I love you like a brother, and we're good friends. And that's how it started. So you can't be knocking it to me on my own podcast, all right?
I am.
And then second off,
Ivanka Trump, okay.
Yeah, second off, I was influenced by Dave Rubin in our interview, where he said, what do we do? And we were talking about the IDF, and he said, get brave now. And just to remind myself the importance of being brave now, it's emblazoned on my podcast, Get Brave Now, all right? And then the third was Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang, the humanity first, hey, it's not left, it's right, it's center, hey, the UBI, look, this was a great Republican idea, let's get the Republicans underneath the tent. He was the true liberal. He was the true liberal of this election cycle.
No, I agree with that. Yang was the liberal candidate. And
Yang was the true liberal.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, the Democrats aren't interested in fielding a liberal. They only want to field a moderate, which is code word for corporatist shill. And then because not every voter wants a corporatist shill, they're going for the popular socialist, which is I agree, man. I want to get these last super chats before we wrap up here at the end, though. First one here, $10 from Samuel54. The war on normal people rages on. We just lost this battle. Yang's not going to be president, but he still popularized UBI and grew a base of rational and not divided voters. I think that's valuable. Dude, it is not. Don't anyone here think that when you walk away from this, that what Andrew Yang did wasn't absolutely remarkable. I mean, just take a look at all the people that are sitting senators, congresspeople, governors, and mayors who couldn't make it 3, 4, 5 months as long as Andrew Yang did. Just look at all them. And look at how many of their policy platforms will be discussed. Now, he did great stuff here. $2 from Technochrono, Sulking Bro, fighting his Yang gang forever, 2024. Exactly. Jay Watt wins next members only vid. Actually, probably planning on a stream next. We were going to do a members only stream.
We just posted a members only vid today.
We did, yeah.
Doing the broom
but
thingy?
I want to do a short stream for them as well, and I think that's going to be. It was weird. Our main plan was to do them, I think, the first Monday of the month.
Should we do a members only stream just right after this, bro?
No, because I want to do a special one for them. We'll get some stuff ready and we'll talk about stuff for them.
Yeah, but also, why don't we just do our first members only stream right now, and anybody that joins right now can come to the members only stream?
Because I want to give time to publicize so everyone can be there, not just whoever happens to be watching now.
Okay, cool. I was thinking that might be a cool incentive. Maybe, I don't know, we give them like some kind of discount code or something.
Yeah, I'd love to see people miss out. Anyway, and then so $10 super chat from America's #1 country said, you guys have been the most informative, entertaining, superior throughout these Yang days. Thank you very much. We very much appreciate it. And $2 from Chat's Moving Too Fast. Andy Meows. Never mind Deval Patrick 2020. Ah, dude, I'll take Patrick Starr. Deval Patrick maybe. Patrick Starr 2020 is my guy.
Now, I also have to say, Samuel54, I loved his super chat. The war on normal people rages on. I agree. We just lost this battle. Yes, just the battle. Yang's not going to president, but he's still popularized UBI. Yes, I love that statistic where he said now 66% of Democrats support UBI and grew a base of rational and not divided voters. I think that's true. The Yang Gang was such a beautiful thing, is still a beautiful thing. I think that's valuable. It is beyond value. And I got to say, like a prophet who prophesied his own demise, he said, I'm either going to win this thing, or what did he say, Cody? A lot of people are going to
Whoever does win is going to sound a lot like me.
Whoever does win is going to sound a lot like me. And so, he may not have won this thing, but whoever wins is going to sound a lot like him if they have any hopes of becoming a president. Unfortunately, they're going to be a product of the DNC, and the DNC just seems to be stuck on corporate handouts and orange man bad. So who knows? Maybe the person won't sound a lot like him. And if they don't, guess what's going to happen? They're going to lose one of the most embarrassing electoral landslide defeats to one Donald J. Trump in 2020. Anyway, we got one last super chat here. Another one came in, right?
Cool. I believe €10.99, I believe, from JHNSSCH. Me working in industrial automation since 2013. Yang was in the right spot, right time, and people were not ready, which is a failed educational system in media.
True that.
Hit me up if you want to talk about AI. Oh, definitely, man. We will.
Yes, send us an email, man.
Yes, email at problemsolvedpod@gmail.com. We would love to. That's the kind of content we'd love to. It is weird now. It is kind of, I don't want to say, it's going to, with Yang dropping out, it's going to free us up a little bit from talking as much about the day-to-days of the race. So we'd love to do more stuff talking about kind of UBI automation and its platforms more. So that's our email to reach out to us because, it's just because obviously the best way to talk about Yang's platforms being initiated while he was still running was to talk about him winning. But now he's not running anymore. We'll have to talk just about the ideas. But anyway, guys, we're going to be wrapping up here in the next minute or so. Any last words, Carden? Because like I said, I'm still just kind of a little bit, I don't want to say in shock, but definitely surprised that we saw tonight with Yang.
Yeah. Michael Alexander, his last super chat I'll read. Unless another one slips in, but
hey, how do we begin this night?
Well, all I have left is Finding Atlantis.
Yes,
dude,
we
you
began
gotta look
with
up
this
the
night
works
with
of Graham
Atlantis,
Hancock.
and we end this night with Atlantis.
Solly Luna, BC from British Columbia. Thank you for the super chat. No mention comment there, but thank you very much, guys. This has been awesome. What a bittersweet end to the Yang Gang campaign. Zam says, this is crazy. I'm becoming a robotics instructor. Got to move forward. Yes, exactly. We got to keep moving forward. Keep keeping on. Keep advocating for universal basic income. Keep advocating for the beautiful. This is what I'm going to miss, Cody. And I hope this spreads, man. I was in the Staples Center, and this is when Kobe was still playing. And I was watching a game, and this really super wealthy guy came in. It was part of some political thing where people had donations, and there was a bunch of Netflix people there and everything. And I sat next to this older gentleman who was like literally a billionaire. I can't even remember his name, but I don't care because the money thing doesn't make me go, ooh. But I did start talking with him, and he was an elderly guy, and I did ask him, I said, man, if I think it's crazy, look at my country now. I wonder what a guy your age has thought with all the technological innovations, political strife, everything. If I say I don't recognize my country, what do you say? And he said, I've seen a lot in my life, but one thing I know, and I can feel it in my bones. And he says, we've got to come together as a people. And if we do not come together as a people, we are doomed. And in the Yang Gang, there was a microcosm of that macrocosm. In the Yang Gang, you saw MAGA people, you saw libertarians, you saw progressives, you saw even establishment Democrats all just say, you know what, dude, this is actually a good idea. And just like V for Vendetta says, behind this mask, there is something that you can't kill with bullets, an idea, and ideas are bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? There was an idea, this UBI with this VAT tax, with democracy dollars, and it wasn't based off of, I hate you guys because you're racist and we're all love you. None of that BS. Okay? And there was none of this BS of all a bunch of baby killers. You know what I'm saying? None of that BS. Okay? It was just all about an idea because those ideas are bulletproof. The closest living thing to one of my favorite movies, V for Vendetta, that I ever saw was the freaking Yang Gang, man. And now it's like, where's the Yang Gang going to go? Because there's no more Yang. At least not in terms of a candidacy that we can get behind. So, anyway, Patrick Tran, man, I can't think of a better way to end this, dude. Patrick Tran says, I've watched every video. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Well, also remember, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more content. It's just, for tonight, we're going to cover Yang tonight, and it seems to be the story of Yang tonight is over. So tomorrow we'll come over and we'll start talking about kind of what's next for the Yang campaign. We'll take a little look back and then talk about what's going on in news in the world today.
All right. Follow us on Twitter, PSP Radio 1, Instagram, Problem Solver Politics. Send us an email at problemsolverpolitics@gmail.com. If you haven't had a chance yet, please smash the like button. If you want to subscribe, make sure you don't forget to subscribe. And please consider joining our channel. It's cheap, and it's a great way for us to avoid corporate sponsorships through self-funding through our viewers. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video.